Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. Started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Don't feel fucking to me. 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 Come on. Don't feel fucking to me. Don't feel fucking to me. Come on. Don't feel fucking to me. Don't feel fucking, 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 fucking.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face. I stood and wait because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
when I'm with you, I am able to keep pushing my limits and all the drive that I have. Well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing and everything that I dread. Well, I built a resistance with you. Catch me when I fall, and I'll keep you on the ground. You were gone, I wish you'd stay. I could look at you for days. Time was well spent, that's when I knew that I need to spend my life here with you. Take your time, not in the fast lane. I understand that you've been broken too many times, but I'll be waiting to make you lose from all you've taken. But if we listen to each other, admit our mistakes, then I can show you who I am, because I'm not the same. I'm better with you. I'm better with you. I'm better with you. Catch me when I fall, and I'll keep you off the ground. That's when I knew that I need to spend my life here with you.
Horrible dream because I kept trying to talk like normal and it just came out like a New Zealander.
Oh
Well,
no.
that's something to come in on. Cap, we are ready to go when you are.
Alright, I'm just posting up in all the locations.
Oh, did you see DJ Khaled is introducing the Overwatch League finals?
Oh, yay.
Oh, wait, oh, what?
They got DJ Khaled.
That,
Oh, did you see?
why am I yelling? That's gonna be so good.
Yay.
Oh, wait, oh, what? They got DJ. Good.
Oh god. It's gonna be either A, 100% fantastic, or B, like 50-50. I don't think it'll be not fantastic in any way, but
If they do player intros, like with him, they do like highlight of like sniper shot, and then he yells another one, and they go to an and they just move
Solo.
replays like that. Fucking 10 out of 10.
that's the only reason I'll watch. Just like a slight hint that that's gonna happen, I'll be like,
I'm in.
going for the fucking computer.
It's cheap, but you got me.
I mean, you could have gone any other way with this, but sure, why not? We're here. All right, ready to go whenever you are. You want to give us a countdown?
Oh, Cap, we are live.
Hey, excellent. I'm over here just like clicking away. So hey, what's
Which is
up,
why
everybody?
I was like,
Sorry
hey,
about
we're
that.
ready to go when you are.
Hey, we're ready to go. You are.
Right
I'm thinking
at
like
6
you're gonna kick
o'clock.
us off here. Give me a countdown. Nope. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. We're doing
Hey,
it
we just
live.
talked.
I
Everybody
forgot
just got
one
to hear
lady
us talk
to-
about Overwatch
No.
League for a little bit.
That's all right. Everybody likes Overwatch, I guess.
Another.
Like that
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dire Bear Adventuring Company. I am your DM GM for this evening, and my name is Heath, aka Captain Sack. You can find me in a lot of different places online. Tonight with us, we have, as always, Atlas, who is playing Tane, our Marine. Maddie, who is playing Nara, our medical officer. Jason, who's playing Skippy, our ensign. We have V, who's playing Quentin, our navigator. And with us, we have Pelka, who's playing Nain, our science officer. Our captain, as is always the case, is slow to wake up from the pod. So, last week, more shenanigans in space. They realized that the missing time on the video screen of 45 minutes seemed to have matched the very time loop that they're in. The reset where they found themselves awaking once more from their pods, the klaxons blaring, seems to have been 45 minutes from the time that they woke up previously. Testing this theory, Skippy set an alarm for 44 minutes. And when that went off, they waited patiently for that one final minute. But in the previous 44, they did a lot of discovering. A lot of odd things started happening. Tane, fueled by maybe a bit of paranoia, sees the medical officer watching him in the cameras, wherever he looks. Nain found somebody moving in the seed bank, realizing that it was Tane the Marine, but they couldn't be Tane because Tane was sitting there. At the same time, Quentin sees the captain in the cargo hold, but the captain is still sitting right there beside them. So they're reading back and looking at these times previous to whenever they were missing that 45-minute jump. They see the crew members moving around the ship in odd places that they don't really have a reason to be. Investigating these movements, Quentin and the captain go to the cargo hold. Tane and Nara spend a few tense moments there in the bridge, while Skippy and Nain, the science officer, go down to investigate the seed bank. Quentin and the captain open the cargo bay only to be sucked out into space. The very breath sucked from their lungs. They felt themselves dying in those last few seconds. As light faded from their eyes, they both fell to the ground in the perfectly intact cargo hold that they opened the door for. Skippy and Nain looked around the seed bank. Nothing seemed out of order until they heard a movement or sound in the back corner. They go around the corner to see an emaciated, near desiccated corpse, still alive though, of Tane. His hair long and gone white, his face drawn and gaunt, looking more like a skeleton, muscles atrophied as he spent countless times. He regales them with stories of what happened, that he had to, for the safety of the crew, get rid of Nara and the captain. The rest of the crew had to go eventually as madness crept into their minds, and he could see that the only way to protect the people on the ship was to get rid of them, get rid of the rest of the crew, because they had clearly slipped into madness. With the exception of Skippy, if I'm not mistaken.
Quentin.
No, that's right, Quentin. With the exception of the navigator, who simply left. He doesn't know what happened to him, but he was just gone. The crew finally rejoined, and again, more odd things started to happen with the cameras. Nain and Skippy didn't share the information yet. The alarms went off at the 45 mark. They found themselves stepping once again from their cabins, or from their sleep pods. And that's where we'll pick up tonight's episode. Skippy and Nain had said that they wanted to go to the seed bank, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The captain, as is the case, it seems, is still asleep. So, Skippy, Nain, you make your way down to the seed bank. I mean, like, you just let out. You didn't even say we're just moving back.
I made some comment about us going and checking a mark we had left down there.
Okay. Because you had all written on your arms, not all of you, but the captain and Nain had both written on their arms in pen, with Nain writing on the metallic arm, or the carbon fiber arm that you have, the artificial limb, and the captain writing, and both names had disappeared. So you're going to go downstairs and check the mark that you had left in the seed bank. Okay. You guys are heading down that direction. Tane, Nara, Quentin, what are you doing?
Well, I think as usual, I'm hauling the captain over my shoulders. I'm not happy about it, but
Fireman carrying
you know,
captain.
she's got to come with us somehow.
I mean, you could leave him in the pod. You never know.
And oh, Quentin, we already broke him out. I thought last week.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't catch that part. But yes, we did break out our good. And the captain. Yeah.
You find yourself draped across the shoulders of the Marine once again.
If you could just put me down, that would be great. Thank you.
Wait a second. While he's got the awake captain, I guess now, you know, feel free to, like, you know, try and get off, but he turns to Nara and he turns to Nara and just Nara, last cycle I was looking at the camera, right, of the pod bay, and I saw you waking up, all of you, and up when I turned around. So maybe there's something to that.
Well, I suppose that we can just go find something. We can go see if they show up on the videotape. If what you say that you saw shows up, then we can figure out from there. If not, then we have to figure out what else is going on, because it may be a malfunction with the system itself.
But how would I see the future if it was on the... Anyways.
Perhaps it was the future, and perhaps it was just a feedback loop from what we've done before.
Maybe. Anyways, I wanted to test it anyway, but, you know.
Absolutely. Then let's do that.
All right.
Okay. So you're kind of heading back towards the bridge still to look at the cameras?
Yeah. Okay. I'd personally like to head back to the bridge. And just
I'm heading back to the bridge to find out who's missing now.
Maybe there's nobody missing. You don't know.
Touché.
All right. You make your way back to the bridge. Skippy, Nain, you finally arrive at the seed bank. Open the door. And it is icy cold, as you would expect it to be, keeping these, you know, from germinating. But heading back to that corner then, I assume, first?
Yeah, straight there.
All right. The corner is empty. No emaciated Marine, no signs of anything.
Alrighty then. We checked the footage from, right?
Which footage now?
We checked the footage of when we went last before we reset, right?
I don't remember if we did or not. I don't think this corner was covered by the cameras anyway, but
I believe we. So he's not here now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure we checked the cameras, and we weren't actually moving.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about now. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
it's like we reacted like we heard the noise, but then didn't actually walk back there.
So we double hallucinated, or
The exact
something
same
like that.
We double hallucinated.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
I prefer
Like a
the-
double rainbow, except scarier.
Like way more
That's the thing.
unintended effects.
Yeah.
Last week, were we there when the captain talked about getting sucked out into space?
I thought everyone was there, weren't they?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think everyone was on the bridge.
Okay,
Yeah,
I couldn't
is what I'm
remember if we were
saying.
back yet or not.
Yeah, I think you had all kind of reconvened at the same time, and then that was
Well, Nan, you know the captain and who was it that went with captain?
Quentin.
Quentin.
The captain and Quentin had their hallucination about being sucked out into space. Maybe this is ours.
This is ours.
This
Oh,
is just
okay.
a moment,
Yeah,
guys.
of
Who's made the same thing? I don't know. We need
We'll
to
always have the seed bank.
Maybe the seed bank can be our.
Die!
Just holds him at the edge of the seed bank with his arms out wide.
It's our
Sorry.
future. So
I hate this fucking family.
so if something can cause us to have a hallucination, vision, whatever, the same thing.
Mhm.
There's two of them, multiple, cover that distance, or it's ship-wide. Ship-wide makes as much sense as anything. Nothing really is making a ton of sense right now.
Nope.
So we should go. I think we want to go back, confer with the captain the circumstances of their hallucinatory vision thing. Episode.
That sounds more fun.
And see if we can find any commonality of what causes it. But we don't want everyone to be having episodes by themselves and not realizing that it's a recurring problem. So, let's head back to the bridge.
All right.
All right. You make your way back to the bridge. Nara, while they were making their way down, you are checking the the log of the passengers?
Yep.
The colonists? Yeah, 44. There are now 11 missing from each one of the 4 tubes. Again, the name has no significance. Might as well be John Doe for all it matters, or Jane Doe for all it matters. They're the only thing that they had was their specialty and was in they were a dietitian and a physical trainer. But yeah, there are now 44 colonists that are missing. Quentin.
Yeah.
Astrogation charts are the same. You're in the wrong sector. Everything seems to be flipped, mirrored.
So it's the same
And-
pattern as the times before.
Everything is the exact same.
Okay.
You realign the path, you recalculate the astrogation, and sure enough, being a bit predictive this time, you look ahead, and the celestial body that would be calculated to be in the path is there.
Hmm.
You did discover last time that it is a planetoid.
Okay.
So looking at it, it is a
Planetoid. I can readjust as always, but if this is going to be a continuous loop, I'm readjusting every single time.
Yep.
Huh.
It is an unnamed planetoid that was not on any of your astrogation charts from whenever you were calculating the path that you would be taking.
Ugh.
It's an unknown factor. Captain.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Get
You're on the bridge. Everybody is now kind of set into the same groove that they were in before.
Can I approach the front area of the ship and just have a little bit of an existential crisis? Is that
Absolutely.
something I can do? Okay.
You
No.
just mutedly
forget
cry,
your
just in your throat, choking. Just
Okay. Aside from that,
okay.
what I really need to do, don't choke, okay?
Tell us what you want, what you really, really want.
I
Don't
should
have a
probably talk to somebody about their conduct now that things have settled down a little bit.
Chilled a wee bit. Uh-oh.
But have they? I mean, have they really?
They haven't, but there's no better time than now, I think.
Okay.
Tane, if you have a moment, can I speak to you privately?
You got some new information or something?
I just need to chat with you for a sec.
All right. You can talk. Anything you can say to my face, you can say to the rest of the crew.
In the interest of respecting your privacy, I think I'd rather speak to you in private.
Rodette said the bridge is fine. He stands and basically brushes past her and walks and just stands kind of on the wall outside of the bridge.
Okay. Fine by me. See? Yes, motherfucker. God. Okay. All right. I don't really know how to say this, so I'll just come out and say it. I'm just kind of wondering where all the aggression is coming from. We never had issues before.
Had no issues because you weren't giving me problems.
This motherfucker's gonna die.
Just saying.
This motherfucker's
gonna die. Okay.
Quickly,
well.
jettison him into space before
Okay.
he jettisons you.
Right. Okay, well.
Establish control.
Reclaim dominance.
Assert
T-pose.
domination.
T-pose to assert
Make
dominance.
yourself real big.
I'm
That's how
peeing
you
on
do
all
it,
of the
right?
corners of the bridge, okay?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, not actually. All right. This isn't, I'm not, okay.
Where do we
I
press
look
F?
anxious. I feel anxious right now. Do I look anxious? Okay.
Is it warm? Is anybody else sweating?
Oh, the best part is you're supposed to be the mentally functional one out of all of us.
I know, I lied. As far as you know, she is balanced.
I damn
Okay.
well better know if you have mental issues. I'm the medical officer. Jack.
Blandly ignoring it, like, uh-oh. Whoopsie.
Okay.
There's a tense
Well-
conversation between the two of them that, while having been having quietly, you can easily tell Nara and Quentin that the conversation.
It's not going well.
All right. So, what would you like to say to Tane?
Okay. since it's my job to make sure that everybody is working together, if you have a problem with me, I would like to talk it out.
Captain, it's not a problem with you. You do your job fine, and that's fine. The problem I have has been assumed that something's wrong with me, that I'm the one going crazy. And listen, I know Ollie Buddy because you're all working together and you have your little computers and everything, and that's not really my speed. But I don't appreciate being looked down on as the one who's going nuts before everyone else.
Okay. That wasn't what I was trying to imply at all. We're in a strange situation now. It's my job to make sure that people are okay. And what I was worried about was everybody's health being okay after what's happened.
My health's fine. I look fine. I feel fine.
Fantastic.
And that's the end of it. All right. Then we're good.
If you can assure me you won't.
What was that? Sorry.
If you can assure me you won't punch me in the head, we're good.
Wow, great time for my mic to cut out, but
right.
No promises, Captain, but as long as we both, I think everything will be just fine. Besides, I have no intention of hurting anyone on this ship as long as I can handle it. So, can we get back to our work? We only had 45 minutes.
Seems legit.
Seemed pretty close last time, but I guess I have no choice but to take your. Okay. Okay, fine.
All right. He heads back into the bridge and sits back down.
All right. You arrive about the same time you see Captain and Tane make their way back into the bridge. Skippy and Name. What are you guys doing?
Gonna come in and announce our extremely scientific finding.
Hey, Captain, I think we're going nuts.
The scientific finding was nothing.
Hey. Ooh. Guys, hey guys, so we're back from Seed Bay, and so really we wanted to confirm something, and we also had an episode down there that we think is similar to the episode Captain and Quentin had, where something seemed really real to us, but it wasn't. Maybe. It's really hard to be sure of anything right now. But so I don't know what's causing that at all. It's a problem, obviously. But just wanted to get that out in the open. That like something is happening other than time loop. It might be related to the time loop, it might not. But so like if something seems off about reality, it's
happening to everybody.
It's happening to everybody. Like it might not. It's kind of just you, but it's not probably just you.
What do you
Tane
mean?
relaxes significantly.
What do you mean it's
Wibbly
happening
wobbly
to,
stuff.
What do you mean it's
Lovely.
happening to everybody?
Well, I mean, I don't know if everyone has had that experience.
But we know the Captain and Quentin have, and me and
We-
Nate have.
In like a very different part of the ship. So, working assumption is something weird happening on the ship, which like we already knew. I know, but
Thanks for the update.
But science is often throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So Just informing you all that there's a lot of stuff on the wall, like including stuff we didn't know.
Is that really how science
Quentin.
works? I mean,
Quentin,
Okay.
Yes.
I'd like for you to give me an intellect check. Just a straight intellect roll.
Oh gosh. I didn't open everything. I was like, intellect straight.
Actually, Nane, I'd like for you to give me the same thing. Both of you.
Intellect check.
Intellect check. Something about what Nane is talking about. Sparks something in your head, and you come to remember, and without realizing it, you blurt out Schwarzschild metric. Schwarzschild metric kicks something in your brain, Nane, and your head goes Einstein-Rosen bridge. Go Google.
like, okay.
Wait, you were like, awesome. I don't know what that shit means.
Like, none of us are science majors.
I know that. I know
Absolute
that.
silence from everyone. Just beautiful.
We're like all like liberal arts majors. Like,
Yeah, it's like artist, model, artist, Jason.
Jason, he's his own thing. Jason.
Actually, I'll guarantee
You
you
majored
right
in
now,
Jason.
if anyone picked up on the words Einstein-Rosen out of any of the six of you, it was Jason. Jason knows exactly what that is.
Well,
Not all the science behind it. Not the
Not the
math.
science behind
listen,
it.
smarty
Yes.
pants.
What? Really
Oh.
quick. Really quick. Did you say that they? Did you say that?
Are you
I
okay,
think so.
Atlas?
My mic is going nuts. I like.
You froze up.
Everything's
so I don't know
like-
what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fantastic. Did you say that they blurted it out?
Quentin blurted out
Or that
Schwarzschild metric. Nane hasn't blurted out anything, but his mind kicks over going, the resolution for the Schwarzschild metric was the Einstein-Rosen bridge.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there it is. I spelled.
In that case, Tane's gonna look at
Fascinating.
Quentin and be like, "All right, can you explain what that is?"
I can quote it from Google.
Yes.
Eyes roll back.
Einstein's theory.
Johnny has not seen the Thor movies after all the other movies he's been quoting.
Oh God, this is just really. I didn't want to be
Tane's
dragged,
not much of a super
but like
guy.
we're dragging ourselves right now.
You kind of are.
Wait. Oh.
Einstein-Rosen bridge is another word for the popular, most commonly known name, wormhole.
Why can't you just use that word?
Because
Because-
it's a science thing.
Because navigator and science officer
God damn it!
would
You
say
They're the smarty pantses.
I'm also a smart one. I just don't apparently know that. Vanessa, what the hell are you eating?
I know, that's what I was saying. I'm like, what the fuck are you eating? You're just like,
Sorry. I know these little string things. I really like them.
Remember,
I like
ladies
to
and
forget
gentlemen,
you're on
we're
camera.
professional gamers.
I forgot. I'm
We
sorry.
are.
I knew it. Oh damn.
At least you weren't picking your nose or something. I mean, it could be worse.
Just a high,
Sorry.
Scratching your titty, you know, like,
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was
it's
I like woke up
amazing.
like an
You're
hour ago.
perfect. Never
It's like
change.
watching. It's like watching the cat with the food on their whisker, and they're
Yeah, exactly.
just kind of get
I'm
to
just
it.
the ship's cat now. I'm sorry. I deserve pets.
Yeah.
What do you mean
That's
now?
what I'm hearing.
Yeah, what?
You were from
All
the
right.
get-go.
Bring it- All right, bringing it back in.
Okay.
So you can. Tane's like, what do those words mean? Do you want to give them the shortened name of it?
Me?
The
Yes.
non-science name?
Yes. It's wormholes. I'm gonna have to do some side research on some wormholes. And quantum mechanics.
Oh, delicious.
Got some
Yeah.
entanglement.
So, as a collective group, what do you know, you the players, know about Einstein-Rosen, wormhole, Schwarzschild metric, anything other than what they are generally?
I know that they are a very fun plot point in sci-fi movies.
What? How dare you?
Dare
You're
you?
not wrong. I'm troped the hell out right now. So
Yeah, they're good though. I mean, like, look
Hey,
at
tropes work for a reason. There's a reason tropes exist.
Yeah.
Because they work. But anyways.
So the wormhole is between black holes.
It's a gravity well in and of itself that can connect 2 points. The idea, the theory behind it, or not the theory, the hypothesis behind it is that it could be connect very large places, very short distances, different universes. There's not enough information. There is enough to know that the anomaly of them exists, in that there is a gravity depression that will that is not indicative necessarily of a black hole, but however they also know that 2 points along the way can be connected by the gravity dense situation that's created by a black hole. So it's we as a human populace at this present time in 2018 don't have enough information to really answer a lot of the questions that they have, other than the like you were saying, the quantum physics side of it. Here's the idea of how it would work if it was a thing. In the science level that you're in now, which isn't far removed from where we are, you as a science officer and Quentin as the navigational officer, because your fields of expertise revolve around these things, especially with regards to navigating safely around those and operating a ship in proximity to these things. You would know that one of the driving ideas behind faster than light travel is by inducing a wormhole using basically creating a small gravity well. The problem is that they have theorized how to open it on one side, or hypothesized, not theorized. They've hypothesized how to open it on one side, but it's like opening a stranger's door. You know how the door opens, you don't know what you're going to step into.
So
That kind of a thing.
So we've chosen a path where we know how we're getting there, but when we get to the other side, we don't really expect.
If this is what it is, and you don't know yet because there's not enough data that you've collected, but if this is what it is, it was not on your plotted journey.
Well, this is terrible.
In the words of the talking heads, we're on a road to nowhere.
So
Nice reference.
So
I love you.
theoretically, this large object that we're going towards could be. Wait, you said it was a planetoid.
It is a planetoid. It
Okay,
is
so-
not a...
So it's not the thing that's sucking.
Correct. But
But
it
it's-
doesn't suck. It does blow. But it doesn't suck.
Aw.
Can our ship's equipment pick up gravity fluctuations? I'm thinking, what if we are looking at, we're seeing this planetoid that's not on our charts. What if the wormhole is open in front of us and we're seeing the planet on the other side of it? We're flying directly at one.
To answer the questions, yes, there would be enough data on there to... The ship would be able to pick up any kind of gravitational change.
Okay.
It would also be something that would cause an alarm, or at least the science officer would know that a large gravitational fluctuation would cause the ship to signal an alarm.
Interesting.
But we looked up the
Plot
alarm.
chickens.
We looked up the alarm, and the alarm went off.
When it was supposed to,
5 years ago.
but 5 years ago.
Is it
My
possible
brain.
that
I just think I melted Pelka's head.
Doing math.
is
Doing
it
math.
is it possible
Like,
that
The problem is,
that it fucked with the timing of our readouts?
yes, definitely. I think that's the path laid out. I'm stuck on like 7 different because I know like enough
scientists.
about like wormholes and quantum stuff to like be like, oh, that would be crazy if this is what he's doing, but I don't know enough to like actually know what the hell I'm talking about. So I was like imagining us just going like this through a wormhole, and that's every 45 minutes we get pulled back in. Which
Keep in mind that the DM is also a fan of comic books and pseudoscience. So
yeah, and like when he brought the rose tides, I was imagining like what if like gravity's fluffing up a bed, and it was such a visual.
the truth of it is you're all just particles in a large hadron collider. You're just spinning around. They're
Oh,
5-second
damn.
cycles.
Man, who knew?
I'm kidding. That's
None of this reality is like even reality.
You're all just pixels in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my fucking graphics suck
Welcome to
then.
my reality.
My
All right.
fucking graphics suck. What a fucking dude.
Can I get somebody to rewrite this fucking story? This PvP
right?
nonsense is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first order of business, get on the computer and check like the strength of gravity around us.
the amount of the fluctuation.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me a. This is an electronics. No, this is a science roll. You should have on your skills a simple just science.
Fine.
Awesome. Yes. There should be no gravity. There are decidedly marked points where the gravitational fluctuation is peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys
Meaning that
around
it
the
is
ship or like
really,
inside the ship?
around the ship. Something is the force around the ship is changing. Not as a constant, but you see a spike and then you see a drop like below the status line. Meaning that something is pulling it and then ejecting it and then pulling it and then ejecting it. That kind of
All right. So gravity is weird, guys.
Yeah, no shit. I never learned it in school. I always figured it was just fucked up.
So something's basically playing ping pong with gravity around us right now.
your current readout right now is the baseline, the status line.
So I guess the hypothesis is we're caught up some sort of gravity well. And that's every 45 minutes we're getting pulled back in. And that's sort of why things reset. Time works weird with quantum entanglement. Which would explain some of the stuff going on, because I think like time works sort of at that level of gravity. Time squishes as well.
You are not wrong. You're not wrong.
So
that's the basis of Einstein's theory of relativity, that all things are
I went through like 3 Wikipedia pages earlier.
I just
Still got mine up.
Googling, man. Oh, God.
And this is in my head.
I was so
We don't
reading
learn
fast.
things anymore, okay, Cap? We
was
don't
reading-
do that.
Fucking kids these days.
So the things we're seeing, that hallucination episode thing might be real, but like from a different timeline of things happening. So
So you're saying they're gonna happen, but
Well, can we?
so they're not, they like everything probability, like everything does happen, but like not to us. If we were to assume that like we have a soul, that soul moves linearly, like it experiences whatever's going on. I'm pretty sure I lost this metaphor, but like everything could happen, but not everything's going to happen to us. A version of us will
We're-
experience all the things that could happen to us.
And
What you're
there-
saying is we may be picking up memories from other us's.
Yes, like we should only be going and experiencing of like we should already be done with this experience time, but we're getting pulled back around,
Okay.
and
So-
then we're like, oh well.
So
what
there was
happened
the two
down
of
this-
us. There was the two of us that ran into crazy old Canny that killed everybody. But it's not going to be this us.
Yes.
Are you saying that
I'm
out loud on
sorry.
the bridge?
Did you
I'm
just
sorry.
excuse me?
What?
Oh,
Oh, it's,
Oh god, it's so delicious. Hang on, let me get another fork.
That's what we saw in the sea bay.
Quite a squeeze you put us in, Skippy.
Okay, explain
Okay.
yourselves right now.
So we had to go down to the seed bay, and we wanted to do we had to check some science down there. And so last loop, we went down there because we saw something on the camera that seemed like there was someone there. And so when we got there, it was like an old emaciated Kane who had delusions of paranoia, it seems like, and had killed most of us.
What?
What?
And then just
Most-
sort of
Who'd I
Wait,
kill?
hold
No,
on.
who was dead? Fine.
Hold on, let me get to the end, and then we answer questions. Ask questions. So it was an alternate version of Tane who had decided that everyone was out to get them and had like airlocked most people. I think you would like that Tane had specifically said that me into the engine. And then they had just gone blind, just sort of spent the rest of their days sitting in seed bay until we found them but so we were pretty sure that was a hallucinatory thing because before the time loop happened we went and checked the cameras and we didn't actually meet them. Like the camera showed us going like, what's that noise? And then just sort of standing there for 2 minutes while we were appearing to have a conversation. So I think that was sort of us getting ripped into another timeline, meeting this version of Tane, who like doesn't exist for us necessarily. Like that's don't worry about them. They're not real for us. And then getting swung back around to where we're supposed to be. And then so we went back and checked. They're very much not there now. There's no old man Tane on in the seed bay right now. We checked, and that's when we were like, something weird's happening. And then we came up and we're like, guys, we're seeing some weird stuff. So now we've established we saw weird stuff, and now we're sort of getting to where the weird stuff kind of makes sense because we know it's wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Did you?
That might have been the best explanation I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
Out of character.
I like it.
So what does that mean for us then?
So depending on your viewpoint, this is a bright side or a downside. So until we figure out what's going on, like, bubbles of the gravity well could be, like, passing the ship, so to speak. So, like, you guys felt like you were getting pulled out into space. Like, I think that actually happened to you. That was an alternate version of the ship where stuff was exploding for whatever. And then you rapidly got pulled back to our time. So I don't know if we could die there and stay dead. That's a downside. That I'm really not sure what's going on there. Bright side.
There's a bright side.
Because you are Mr. Brightside.
Bright side, that stuff isn't necessarily real for us, if you follow me. Like, it happened, but, like, over there. It's... all that other stuff is, like, fan fiction for us.
Right.
I'm following now. You got me.
I thought I understand now. Oh,
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Like, it exists.
I've read fan
It's,
fiction.
we're canon. We're what's supposed to be happening
Where
for
the ship
us.
set sail.
Mhm.
That's all some AU stuff. We don't
are
have
you?
to worry about it. Except, like, I'm not sure we would die if we died. I have no idea.
Well, I'd
That-
rather not test
Yeah,
that.
definitely don't try and die. That's not an experiment I condone at all. Don't blame that one
Is
on
the
me.
tasing thing still on, though?
Mm.
You
Not
know,
to the
Okay.
washroom.
Okay,
We
hang
could,
on.
but we're
hang
past
on.
that.
I'm
like, I think we figured out what
That's
we
the-
were
that's
trying
the
to
personal
Okay.
preference at
test.
No, this doesn't explain everything. Where the
If
fuck
we-
are
if
our
I knew-
colonists going? Why are we still losing colonists if this is supposed to be resetting?
So, I mean, okay. So if I knew everything, we'd be fine, because I'd just be like, whoopity doobity doo, science, and then we solve the problem.
is that exactly how it would go?
That's how I type.
Scientific.
That's the
Woobity dibbity doo.
that's the onomatopoeia of me typing.
Nice use of the word.
So, the colonists. Okay, so something has got us on a time loop, and our options are: it is base, in which case, like, we need to figure out a way to bat space on the nose and let it make us go, like, make it let us go, which is complicated but straightforward. Or something like roughly organic, something with a plan, put us here, which is a way worse thing to worry about. But that sounds like it might be what's going on, because if something can lock us in a time loop, then theoretically they would be able to control where they are in the time loop. So like, if they can only control a time loop, they can only have like 45 minutes of time. That's not enough for them to take all of the colonies, but it's enough time to take 2. So they just repeat over and over until they get everything they want, because they take one person, they put them in universe B or timeline B. Those might be the same thing. I don't know. And then they go back. We all start. Take someone, put them over there. So, given that the colonists are disappearing and not reappearing anywhere else, like if something weird, if they just appeared somewhere else on the ship randomly, it could be like space screwing with us, and it's just unfortunate weirdness. But given that there seems to be a clinical taking of people and not reappearing, logic tells me that someone doing this to us is more likely than that. And at which point, there's a lot of downsides to that. I don't have many. I don't have a good upside to that. Tana, you might get to shoot a lot of things. That's
Here's the
all I've got.
upside. If it's something organic, I can fight it. That's the only upside.
Yes,
Can't
We-
fight space.
can fight it. We
Listen, none of the rest of you have any muscles to fight anything. I promise it.
Skippy's not bad.
Yeah, Skippy could probably hold his own.
But so we need to figure out how, like, theoretically you could punch in the face, and that's great. But we need to figure out how to punch in the face.
Oh,
We don't even know what it is
That's the
yet.
snack guys.
Well, yeah, but if a thing is existing and taking colonists from us, that means it's probably not happening during the 45 minutes that we're awake. I think. I'm not really sure. The whole 5-year gap messing with us.
What if it's not 45 minutes?
Go on.
Okay, so and I'll say that I don't have as much knowledge in this whole sector as you two do. But what if it's not 45 minutes? What if we're only conscious for 45 minutes because that's where he's resetting us to? Once we have gotten as far as this creature allows us to go, if that's what it is, if we're going to work with this theory because we have to figure out what the hell is going on with these colonists. If that's what we're going to work with, then we need to consider that it's not 45 minutes.
Are you
He
that
puts us back
we're
to
being
sleep.
allowed 45 minutes before it puts us back. But there's more time afterwards during which...
You're saying it's a longer loop, but at the point we wake up, there's only 45 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay? So
So remember that feed where we think the feed is 45 minutes?
yes,
That feed that we're missing, it just blanks out to static for a moment and then comes back, and we're missing 45 minutes.
we need to check the tapes again. The second loop, we checked the tapes, and we saw, like, we thought we saw someone at the seed bay, and I think we saw some other stuff. I forget all of them.
Mhm.
But so if we're going off that, so if there is time that we are allowed, I don't think is a good word, because if something was doing this to us, we're getting 45 minutes because it can't, not because it's allowing. Because if a spider had you in its web, it's not going to allow you an arm free to maybe help yourself. So this would be a limitation on them, which means we can
Or
do
they made a
something.
mistake.
Yes, it's an opportunity for us, which is good. But I guess that means we have to figure out if there is time before and then our 45 minutes, or our 45 minutes and then there's time after that things happen. So we should check the tapes, because I think we assume that the things that happened just before 45 minutes start on tapes last time would be a constant. But if they aren't, then that does mean that either we can, or things can happen. We're not stuck. The ship is not stuck just in 45.
Okay.
Check all the tapes of the ship
Okay.
for just before 45 minutes.
So once again, you are all manning different screens that are there available to you. rewinding to before the 45-minute jump to see if you can see the same things. Are you all wanting to watch the same areas that you did last time?
I will,
Yes.
yeah.
That makes
Yeah, let's do that.
What
Alright,
did
so
wait? Sorry, Nain. What did you see in the seed bay? What
The
are we,
f-
if anything, what are we looking for? Why did you go to the seed bay?
because we similar to the cargo bay saw what looked like someone moving into frame.
And we looked like they were built about like Tani. So we
Tane.
went down there and checked.
So, it
So-
was Tane you saw on the camera that
We
first
saw
time?
it. Yeah,
It
we
may
saw
have-
Tane.
it was the right deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and went down, and
And found old man.
not everything is well explained, but I think the key is to check tapes now. Everyone, check the tapes you checked before, and see if there are differences. Last time we ever observed tapes in the minute or so leading up to our gap.
Okay.
Do that.
We'll start with Tane. You rewind. You're looking at the bridge, the crew bays, the stuff that you looked at last week, or last time that you had the reset.
Bridge, crew bay, pod bay.
Correct. You were looking at the medical bay, the crew pods, and the bridge. You look at it now, and it's showing the current timestamp, or what you assume to be the current timestamp. You rewind, you see the 45-minute jump. You go for that. You look at the bridge. As you back it up, you see yourself. You don't see anything. The bridge is empty, and as you continue to rewind, it jumps. The time on stamp on there jumps to the current time, or what was the current time. The timestamp looks like you had looped back around to the current time. You see everybody in the bridge the same way that they were. Everybody is looking at their screens. There's a kind of a distortion to the picture for a second, and then it goes back to normal, and everybody's looking at the screens. The timestamp is still the same. It all seems to be. You rewind it again, get to the 45-minute jump, rewind it 10 minutes. It's fine. You play it back to where the time jump is, and you go back 10 minutes where you started, and then 10 more minutes back, and then it jumps back to the current time. It's like you can only get so far before it moves you back around to the front where it's at.
10 minutes.
20 minutes total, maybe. It's not an exact, like, right at 20 minutes. It seems like you just back it up
And
and it
that's,
starts to loop.
is that before the 45? Because, okay, wait,
Correct.
really quick clarification.
Yes.
There was the cutout in the video feed. That's for all the cameras on the ship.
Correct.
Okay, so what you're saying, I get to the point where the 45 minutes cuts out 8 minutes before that?
Right. So you back up the video feed. So you're hitting rewind.
Yeah.
You see the time
Yeah.
jump. You see the time jump to the start of the 45-minute period.
Okay.
You go back roughly 20 more minutes before that happened. And then it just loops all the way back around to the start, right? Your current time.
All right. Then in character, Tane just says 10 minutes.
Say that again.
Oh, sorry, I cut out.
Sorry.
In character, Tane just says 10 minutes.
So you're all watching your video screens, and Tane just goes 10 minutes, or more like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like
You got to do the voices.
between 10
Gotta
and
do the
20
voice.
minutes. Between
20
10
minutes
and
or
20
10?
minutes.
20 minutes. Okay.
So there's a point then.
Nope.
No,
Let me go to everybody's camera because.
Okay.
Let me go to everybody's camera because you don't know why he said 20 minutes. Just he said 20 minutes out loud. You're all looking at your own video screens. You rewind. You see the timestamp jump to the start of the 45-minute skip. You rewind it back 10 minutes. Watch nothing happening in the. You were watching the. What area were you watching?
What was I watching?
Was it the reactor room?
No, I think
the
Nain was the reactor.
I think Nain was watching the reactor. That Skippy, you were watching the seed bank.
Mhm.
I had the cargo bay.
You had the cargo bay.
I had the colonists.
You were watching the colonists.
Was I like all of the airlock and stuff?
Yeah, you were
Oh, yeah, it was
watching
the
all of the
airlock.
airlock spots. Okay. Watching over the airlock locations, you see, you back it up 10 minutes, nothing. You back it up 10 minutes prior to that, nothing. You back it up 10 minutes prior to that, seems to be nothing. And as you're watching, you hit play to play it forward, and you kind of speed it up, and you notice that the timestamp on the corner seems to be recalculating up until you get to the start of that 45-minute jump. And then it jumps to the 45 minutes and plays normally from there.
Hmm.
So you're trying to back it up past the start of the 45 minutes, and you're watching the timestamp kind of like glitch out. So where you think you're backing it up even further, it's not. Nara, you are watching the Colonist Bay. You back your video feed up to before the 45-minute jump. As you're watching, you see somebody dressed in the NWC medical uniform. No rank, but the green band that marks medical is on there. You watch them as they walk over to one of the pods. They kind of kneel down and tap on one of the data pad on the front of it. Stand up, take a clipboard that they've got in their hand and make a note. And they walk down. You watch them for about, you're kind of watching it on fast forward. But you watch them right up until the time jump, and then they're gone. You back it up again to where the time starts. Back it up past where you saw them. Continue to back it up past. And as you're scanning through, you see not one, not two, not three, but 4 different medical crew, and one in each tube, clipboards in hand. And they're walking through, looking at the pods. And as you're watching them, there's this weird distortion where they kind of look like a VHS tape that the track isn't quite right, and you watch as their body kind of shimmers out of place. You continue to back it up and play it forward again. You can see the crew enter the tubes respectively and start to look through the different pods. It's like they're just kind of looking over them to make sure. Goes back to the 45-minute start of the 45-minute time jump, and there's nobody in the tubes. Skippy, the seed bank. You back it up. Nothing. You continue to back it up and play it forward. Nothing. It's there's nobody in there. Nothing goes on with the time. It all plays normally. Gets to the 45-minute jump. Continues to play. And again, there's nothing in the seed bank. It is perfectly dormant. Quentin, you're watching the cargo bay. You back it up to before the 45-minute time jump. We're going to call it Mark 1 from now on because I'm tired of saying 45-minute time jump. So you back it up to the Mark 1 spot. And you continue to back it up. As you are watching, you see what looks like the room being, there's nothing there. The camera is looking into the void, and then you watch as like a weird reverse Lego, because you're running it backwards, it all gets reassembled. You see a person, and you're backing it up, and you watch as they walk in this weird stilted way that you do watching a video and backwards, as they walk forward but backwards out of the room, and you see them. Before they leave the room, though, you look as they kind of turn, and you stop the camera as they look at the camera. And it's you. Freckle-faced, small boy.
Oh boy.
And you have a satchel in your hands. As you look at the camera, you can look at your own face, and it's a face you recognize from the mirror, but it's weird. You realize you don't ever see your own face, except in the mirror. And it looks strange and alien to see yourself looking at you in this manner. And you watch as you pitch play, dreading what's going to happen next. He doesn't look at the camera, he looks at someone. They're not under, you can't see them. They're off camera. But he turns his head and looks forward. You can't hear it, but the sadness in his face, in his eyes. You clutch your fist to your mouth as you watch him shake his head no. And he turns, and you watch as his hand does this motion. The camera is nothing but fire. Things being shoved around the room. And then there's just this empty void of space. 45-minute time loop starts. Whenever it comes back, you're still looking at the cargo bay. It's intact. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
What the fuck?
Did you space yourself? Jesus Christ!
You back it up to that same spot. You watch, just to make sure you're not crazy. You watch as it happens all over again. You back it up even further, so before you came in the room. And it's empty. Until you come running in. Turn with that great sadness in your eyes, and you realize what you're saying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The explosion in the empty space. Name. Watching the science division. You're watching the reactor. You back it up to the 45-minute jump. Nothing going on. You continue to back it up. Nothing going on. You're at about 20 minutes. You back it up another 10 minutes. And you see a very familiar person. You see yourself. Very familiar with the blue in the hair, the arm. Maybe it's odd, though, because your left hand, right? Carbon fiber. The right hand on this figure is carbon fiber. The blue streak in the hair is on the opposite side. You watch as they walk over to the reactor housing. They extend the bridge that allows it out. You watch as they walk up to it, reach up to the panel that leads into the core housing, and you got to imagine this thing is like a giant dodecahedron shape. It's not 20-sided, it's like multifaceted, but it looks like a giant multifaceted die, and it's got a giant door on the front of it that opens up. And when I say giant, it could hold all 6 of you inside of it and still have room for laying down. It's big. But it's a reactor core. Now, you didn't assemble the reactor core. You just know how it operates to keep it from blowing up. One of the things you do know about it, though, is that opening the door on the reactor core while it's live, not a good idea. But you watch.
Bad idea.
Walk up to that reactor core, punch in the code with your carbon fiber right arm. It's weird. You open the door. You stand there for a second, and then you watch as you climb into the reactor, and the door shuts. And there is nothing. There's the 45-minute time jump. You're back to the present time.
Bitch, what the fuck? Oh my god.
I'm gonna back this up. You go. You're in your head. Wait. No. No. See. No. Okay. This only confirms what I know because it's on the wrong side. You back it up and you watch. Sure enough, there is you climbing into the reactor core. The door shuts. Time plays on. 45-minute jump. Back to normal.
Why would I do some fool shit like that?
Man, alternate universe me is really fucking dumb.
I don't know.
What
Why
an
the fuck are my
idiot.
medical teams going into the fucking pods?
Wait. Hold on. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Would the door would close itself automatically?
Yes.
Okay. What?
Were
All of
any
you
of the
standing there.
44 that were taken part of my medical team?
No. These are all colonists in that cube.
Can I check my medical team and everybody else's teams? So the crew tubes?
Yeah. You easily check those because they're part of the same. They're in the same tubes. They're just, their pod is marked differently. All of the crews, the security crew, the rest of the medical staff, any of the other navigational crew, and the science team are all in their pods, all cryo sleep to the hell out. Nian, the reverse Nain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Okay, guys. Hey. So there was some new things on the cameras this time.
Telling me.
Skippy, you don't know what they're talking about.
Understatement of the century.
So I'll share first. I'm assuming you all have something to add. So I was watching the reactor core, and there was a reverse me. Not goatee, not that kind of reverse me, but my arm. This arm was on the other arm. My hair was different, looked terrible, but for reasons unexplained, this alternate me just climbed into the reactor. And
What?
I don't think you need a science to know that.
That's a big.
It's a big no-no.
That's
So
a big.
this version of you
A hell
just
of a bad
committed suicide.
Just the mother of all OSHA problem.
Yeah. I like that's where we're at. Occupational safety administration.
We're gonna get so written up.
So he just
In like
he just
400
opens,
years.
He just opens the reactor
Health and
core and
safety
steps
hates
inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nain, is there something you would like to talk to me about, so that we don't go that route?
I think that, like, at worst, this time loop is infinite time to do science. I'm fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I want to get us out of the time loop. I'm not going to keep us here forever.
You're not gonna keep us here forever.
But
But, like,
Okay, but if
I'm
you
okay-
start
I'm okay
thinking
with
that
looping
going
time.
into the
That's-
reactor core is a good idea, how about you talk to me first? And
Yeah,
then
well,
If you have
experiment.
feelings of stepping into a reactor core off of a building or harming yourself in some way, please seek your medical officer.
I think that goes for everyone.
That sounds like a quote from Portal. Just like, if you feel like stepping into reactor core, notify a test associate. So
But
they
it
can-
has to be voiced by J.K. Simmons if it's gonna
Yeah. If you feel like stepping into a reactor core,
Oh.
be sure to
be.
notify
You feel like stepping
your
into a
test
reactor core?
associate beforehand.
That's just a side effect of the drugs that we gave you. Don't actually do it. That's science, folks.
Get down.
reactor
We're
core.
done here.
This isn't Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh.
Bring me
No.
pictures of Nate.
But so what I'm trying to say is, if I did some dumb shit and died in an alternate universe because I was trying to do something, that would make sense to me. I'd be like, you should have did some trial runs first before jumping in the reactor. But you were trying to do something. Me just jumping into a reactor doesn't make much sense.
Can we see you jump into the reactor?
I
Can you put it on the screen?
Is this for research purposes or what is it? Like,
Entertainment.
Why do we
we
want
need
to
to
see
see
this?
See on the video what he saw on the video.
yeah. So I'll put it on to like showcase. Like, this is not. I don't look like I'm super sad, but this is not something I would do.
And he throws it up on there. And there in the giant view screen that marks the outward view, you see him back it up to the timestamp. You see nothing for about 20 minutes, and then you watch as Nain. But again, maybe there's something wrong with the camera because it's reversed. His arm is on the wrong side. And you watch as he walks up to the reactor core, opens it using the keys, swings the large door open. As he steps inside, you watch, and you were so occupied with watching yourself step into this reactor core. There's a small distortion to the screen. It looks like it's not visible. It's like some kind of small little wisp of something. And then you watch as he steps in, that wisp kind of distorts the screen for a second, and the door on the reactor closes. And then the video just picks up from normal.
So as you see, that's me doing some not me things. If I were to kill myself, trust me, you would find notes of what I was trying to do,
hang on.
all right, I don't.
Pull it.
which would
pull it
not
up
which
and
would not be
freeze.
killing myself.
No.
It would be
Back
trying-
it up and freeze. Right to the point. Right before that door closes.
Okay. Dibbity doobity.
That's
Now-
me in the core.
The onomatopoeia. Thank you
Now-
for that one.
Now take a look at this, and she's going to put her own up
Uh-huh.
with her 4 medical personnel,
Mhm.
and she's gonna freeze it with that same wisp on the screen.
You see the small distortion in the screen, and the distortion. Looking at the timestamps, they're almost identical.
Huh.
Are they the same size on the screen or the same size compared to the people on the screen?
The distortion is completely different. His looks like a solar flare, but not actually like the bubble of the hydrogen mass that's burning off of it. It's almost invisible. It's just like the distortion is there. The one with the medical team looks like a glitch in a hologram kind of thing. The timestamps are almost identical. They're not quite the same, but they're very, very close to it.
Did
Do they
anybody-
happen in succession? Like one and then the other?
It does appear that way.
How
The reactor core is first.
core and then that. Where are they compared to each other on the ship?
On the ship,
Yeah, like I
reactor
know they're
core-
probably not close,
No,
but
the reactor core in the powerhouse and the reactor core science bays are all down through the mag lifts, and then they're underneath kind of everything else, because you have the science bays.
So
with
they're, like,
the
side by
reactor core,
side?
The engines out beside, and then they're below the colonist tubes.
so it's almost like something's going through the ship to cause it.
Maybe.
Wait, so if we're assuming it's traveling through the ship, we should line up the rest of the ship. That holds up. Do you guys all have weird? Did anyone have a completely normal, completely?
You know, it's easier just to ask if who had a normal.
If he's like,
I just saw empty room.
Mine looks fine.
All right. Oh wait. But you were watching the Seed Bay, right?
Quentin.
It's fine.
All right.
Actually, I do want to.
Perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine. I just spaced myself. No. The
did
satchel. The satchel Quentin was holding in the video. Would that be like something that would be recognizable? I'm sure not everyone has like.
It's not. I will say, out of character, you don't recognize it.
I don't recognize.
In character, you don't.
I don't.
Actually, well, no, because your base combat training wouldn't have been with demolitions or anything else like that. You don't recognize it.
Okay. So
it's somebody's.
So the Seed Bay was fine this time, but
Mm-hmm.
we saw stuff in the Seed Bay before.
In the last loop, yes.
Okay. So let's line it all up by the ship, including the Seed Bay. And
All right.
See if this.
Starting with the bridge, the medical bay, and the crew pod area, you see that. Then you have the airlock area, and then you have the colonist tube, and then you've got up the mag lifts. You've got the seed bank that sits kind of over the colonist, and then down below you have the engine room, the power housing, with the reactor core and the science base that sit underneath, with the 2 engine drives out on the side and the sails and everything. They're all outside of the ship, of course, but you know that's how it's set out.
I wonder if we're trying to save ourselves.
By climbing into a reactor?
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. things to look forward to. There's a slight chance the weird thing happening is us in some future time, figuring things out and speeding things along by pulling us through time. Just it crossed my mind. It's
9.
Let's go.
9.
What I want to say is I'm really, really comforted by your eternal optimism.
No, but
That's all.
wait a second.
All right.
If
You put all
anything could happen, good things can happen.
9. Wait a second. You said when you saw me, old me or whatever it was earlier, that I killed the entire crew because I said I was trying to save them.
No,
I don't think you said you were trying to save them.
You spaced the captain because you were trying
I
to
don't
save
remember what. No, somebody said something. Oh, the captain. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. Future you, very, very paranoid.
All right.
On the bright side, on an interesting note, you didn't kill Quentin in this future you. Quentin just was like disappeared like a buddy in grass. I don't know if that's a phrase.
A wild Pokemon.
Thank God for that.
Fled.
You put all the videos up.
Let's get back to.
And you kind of lined up how the ship is. Watching the distortions that happen on each one of yours, with the exception of Skippy's. It happens in succession, one after the other, starting with the reactor core, then going to the colonists, then going through, you see the cargo bay happen, and then you see the airlock situation, then you see the crew cabin, the bridge and everything else like that. Where your distortions happen are right in time after the other, kind of a domino effect, starting with the reactor housing and then moving out. And with the way the ship is designed, It expands.
I can expect it.
Guys, who wants to try science?
What do you have in mind?
We just watched you walk into a
Yeah,
reactor
science,
core. I
bitches.
don't know if.
Again,
The most
again,
scientific.
the reactor core does not look like science, which is why it doesn't make sense to me.
Name, I have to joke about this, or I'm gonna go crazy.
Okay, so science. It looks like things are traveling through the ship sequentially. Whatever that pulse, whatever distortion is, went through the ship sequentially.
Okay.
So I think every time we've reset back to Mark 1, we've been in the same place. So I wonder if things will go differently if some of us are at the back of the ship and are in the bridge. Like if we put the captain on the bridge and the rest of us went to the back, maybe we'll all wake up at the same time or something like that.
We could all be sitting there watching our clocks to see when we reset, and then when we wake up, compare time to see if it's all the same.
Wait,
We all reset exactly the same time or not.
you think that the correlation of where we are when the time resets will change when we wake up?
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just proposing we could learn more about what's happening if we try this. Like I said, science, walls, just throwing stuff.
9. I told
Science is
Nara.
more an art than a science. Most people don't get that.
9. When I woke up, I told Nara I saw everybody waking up. I was sitting on the bridge and I saw them. There's something to that. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Wait.
Wait,
Repeat
we
that to
never
me?
left the bridge.
I was sitting on the bridge watching the pad bay, and I watched everybody wake up.
Tanya, we never left the bridge.
So then, what was I saying?
No,
It
no,
looked
no,
exactly
no,
the same
with
as when
his
I was
theory,
there.
with his theory that the reset changed based on where we were and what time we were waking up. You and I never left the bridge. We were the last ones to be reset.
And that's fine. All I'm saying is I saw what I saw.
Okay. So it sounds
if
like
your
we have an
theory's correct, if your theory's correct, then whoever's on the bridge is the last to be reset because it's the last. It would be the last stop, as it were, for whatever's
Yes.
going through the ship.
Yes, presumably if we're getting pulled back time, in this metaphor, it's like a hand reaching up and grabs the things at the front last. That metaphor doesn't hold up pull things at the same time, but the visual might help. So, but we have an inkling that something like that may be happening. So the best thing in terms of science is having some of us just way in the back of the ship, some of us in the. Now I will be completely upfront that I don't actually know what will happen exactly. But I don't think it'll be bad.
I mean, really, what choice do we have?
As the GM, you know, no.
You know, no.
Well,
you know, no.
Captain, it's your call.
Okay. We'll split into 2 groups.
I'm going to interject. I think in this situation, we get the most information about having Kane be in the group at the back of the ship. Because, or Wait, was it Tane and Nara? You both seem to okay. So, in the case that it's not just about the back of the ship, and there's something specific to you two that flips time even more off track, then like we want to make the difference as big as possible, so the observations are the easiest to make.
Okay.
How much
Well,
time do we have until the reset, give or take?
At this point, about 30 minutes or so.
Okay, fine.
28 minutes and like 37 seconds. About 30 minutes.
Who is going to be... I'll stay on the bridge then. Who is going to stay with me?
Who's staying with the captain on the bridge?
Skip will.
Right. Hold on. Excuse me. We want Tane and Nara in different places. That's what.
Okay.
So either
Fair enough.
And you said you wanted Tane on the back of the ship, correct?
Well, I
Which
was
would be the cargo bay.
I was talking it through as I go. Tane or Nara work. It's just want one of them in the back and one of them in the front, because the only for sure evidence we have right now of some ability to fluctuate with things is those two.
Okay.
So we want them in the farthest possible points.
Okay.
So we want Captain and Skippy at the front on the bridge. And you're going to do this right, like you're heading there right now?
Yeah, I'll go right now.
Well, we're on the bridge at the moment.
Okay.
Check.
You're watching as Skippy is typing, and the picture of all of the video screens that were paused at that point in time disappear, and he enlarges the picture like as best as he can. Enhance. The picture of the distortion of the reactor core is on the view screen. He's standing there looking at it.
Does everybody else see what I see here?
He's asking you guys, not me.
What?
I don't
What
know
am I
what
looking
you're
at?
supposed to be looking at.
The distortion. Does it look like something specific?
tell me, what do my elf eyes?
What do my elf eyes see? What do my elf eyes? Elf master race.
He points it out. The distortion, as you're looking at it, it looks like an arm that's kind of curved back around. Everybody here has seen The Predator, I'm assuming, right? Do you remember whenever they were like invisible mode?
Oh, hell yeah.
And it has that light distortion?
Mm-hmm. Shit.
So you can still see where it's at. The arm looks like that. The arm is
okay, who has the invisibility cloak or invisibility ability?
The arm is small.
Hold up.
When I say small, it's thinner around than any of the other female on the crew members that are currently awake. It seems small, like not emaciated, not skeletal, just like it's
like a child,
or bigger than a child. It's not like a child's arm and hand, but
It's the
more
fucking
like
Greys.
like an older teenager or younger. You know, it has the same form and suppleness to it that somebody in there.
Can we make out the proper number of
I just watched Falca smile.
No.
You're not wrong. And as I'm always fond of saying, and there are many of you can attest to this, there's nothing more pure than the sound of a child's laughter, unless you're home alone.
Unless you're home alone.
And you have no children.
And you have no children.
You want water.
He's weaponized his children. What will we do now?
There's nothing more pure than the sound of a child's laughter, unless you're home alone and you have no children.
Okay. So there's invisible-ish hand.
The fucking
What
grace.
it, wait, it is. It's thin, but at what height level is the hand? Is it reaching or just
It's reaching.
hanging?
It looks like it's reaching out of the reactor towards the door,
Oh.
and it's probably about chest height to where Nain is.
How tall is it again?
Wait, is the reactor closed right now?
No, you had just stepped in. The door was just starting to close. That's where you stopped it because that's where you saw the distortion.
Does the hand appear to have, 5 fingers like a normal person?
Yeah. Well,
Well, shit.
again, it's kind of hard to make out. It doesn't look odd, but again, it's a distortion. It's this weird light refracting thing. So it could have a claw. It's you just make out the arm really from where you're at.
My spirit's a little girl. I don't think so. But
What's that?
is my spirit a little girl?
Yes. Hello.
We're all a little girl.
They're on to me.
We're all little girls.
Her name is Annabelle. She's actually a doll.
Oh, fuck you, man. Fuck that doll.
Remember what I said earlier about tropes being good for a reason? I
Yes.
rescind that. I redact.
I thought you were just reminding us. No, you changed your opinion.
Atlas, do you redact that to the same amount that's been redacted on your medical file?
Oh, shit.
Maddie's got to show all of you that because it's hilarious. But anyways.
For all of your viewing pleasure, I
Helga,
was
why are you
asked.
so far away from the screen? Where are you going, friend?
I need some space. I need some space to think.
I
You have
was
so
asked
much
to.
space. We're in the middle of space.
If you were watching the pre-show art, I was asked to redact a bunch of extra shit off of Tane's medical file.
It had like a bunch of stuff redacted in the special notes. I'm like, I need you to redact everything except for excels on physical tests, so that's just his name is just excels on physical
Excels.
That's all he
He's
is.
just
That's all that he is.
workout boy.
That's all you make him feel like. God.
Does he CrossFit? You would know. He wouldn't shut up
Oh,
about it.
yeah. Never shuts up about it.
He'd
Yeah,
be trying to like get us all to
As
be
a,
on the
as a
CrossFit team,
former
and we're all sitting there
CrossFitter,
like,
I will tell you about how much I used to CrossFit.
Oh my God.
Tane,
Wait.
please.
stop.
We're trying to have a meeting right now. This isn't the time.
No, but you
It's
know
actually
what?
the
Big
last
diagram,
whey
like-
protein base that I've got. It actually tastes like real chocolate.
Oh my god! So much. Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
I apologize,
He's
but I
got-
don't. Dude, these chocolate peanut protein bars, they're like 24 grams of protein. It's like the most protein you can get.
Oh my
Besides
God.
eating a chicken breast, let me tell you that what I do is I take the chicken breast and I butterfly them because they're so thick. You don't really need that much protein in one shot. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Like,
Moving on.
Just like hands slowly coming out and just like on Tane's mouth, like shh. He's like mumbling frozen. It's a chicken breast.
I forgot to bring my CrossFit trainer in the colony. What am I gonna do?
Once Nara just like slides
out.
that information away that the one that's missing today is a personal trainer, just like take that off the screen.
Oh yeah, you said that.
The dietitian and protein. The dietitian and trainer was the one that was missing. You're just kind of like,
No.
can you close that for me or something?
Now this.
Yeah, CrossFit, yay!
I'm losing all my favorites.
Sorry. All right.
Okay,
First
what-
the
what's
YouTube
happening?
star, then your
I got so
CrossFit
fucking
trainer.
course.
Back to science.
Science, yes.
I want
the
to.
crisis at hand.
I want to. I want to slightly move the video forward now that seeing little ghosty hand. What further things does the ghost hand do? Like super slow mo? Does it grab the door? Does it?
It doesn't grab the you see it like you see the hand reach up to the edge of the door and it door closes, the distortion is gone. You want to back it up?
Boy, I'm getting haunted.
You want to back it up before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's
You all watch again as in slow motion, Maine taps out the keypad, reaches out, turns the wheel on it to open the door, pulls it open. You see, this is where the distortion starts. Looking at it now, because it wasn't very large, but you see frame by frame as a hand slowly reaches out from the reactor. And as he puts his hand out, originally you thought he was bracing the side of the door to step in, and you see his other hand reach out and take the ghostly hand. And as he steps in to the reactor, frame by frame, you watch as once again that distortion reaches up and closes the reactor door.
all right. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
You got a ghost girlfriend.
I know less about what happened than I did before.
That's comforting.
Impressive. Usually, adding evidence doesn't do this.
Okay.
Now, no one has mentioned a word. But before you guys were looking at the distortion, you noticed that Quentin was holding a satchel charge and was frozen with his back turning, pulling a cord on the satchel. Sorry. Turning to pull a cord on the satchel, and that's where it was frozen.
Who would know that?
You would know what it is as the Marine. You would recognize that as a satchel charge. It is a high explosive device held in a bag.
Are we supposed to have one of those on the ship?
You are not.
What in the hell is Quentin doing with a satchel charge?
Contraband.
For those of you who aren't aware of the power of a satchel charge, a couple of them can take out a tank.
Yay!
Yeah.
This is horrible.
I think Tane would probably know that.
Yeah, Tane would know that, but I'm saying for the players and the people watching,
no.
the satchel charge can take out a tank.
So we don't want
Oh, a
them on our
spaceship.
ship. We don't want them near us. We don't want to look at them. We don't want to think of them. And yet
Tane's
here they
gonna
are.
turn to the captain and ask, all right, I'm not saying that incorrectly. Do we have explosives on here?
We're not
like-
supposed to.
As the head of the security team, and you would also know the armory inside and out.
Yeah, but I'm
Not-
asking because I figure, like,
Oh, yeah.
that's Tane's thing is sometimes it's like he doesn't necessarily think he's gonna know everything, so he'll ask because he thinks
Perfectly.
dumber
Yeah,
than
perfectly.
everybody else. So
Like,
he's
I-
gonna ask the captain.
I dig it.
We're not supposed to.
Like, hell, we aren't.
Just because we're not supposed to doesn't mean we don't.
Yeah, and that's what's concerning me. I personally went through everything in that armory. Tagged it, checked it.
Yeah,
Can't be
this-
anything like that.
According to Nan, this would be from a different ship, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
different.
Did you go through everything in the cargo bay as well
Much as-
as the armory?
Well, didn't go through everything. Certainly picked a few things up. You know, carrying and the like.
So that's from an alternate something or other. But presumably it's on our ship. Because I don't think we've seen anything so far which is for sure coming from off the ship onto on.
Yeah.
Everything looks like it's just been very interesting outcomes from potential of our ship.
Skippy starts to look worried. What if our uninvited guests from earlier left a satchel charge or two on the ship somewhere?
Well,
Kinda like that thought.
Well, so part of it is figuring out what, if this is a potential future, what, like, there are things we can learn from potential futures and figure out how they would happen. So me walking into the reactor is weird because I can't figure out what scenario would lead to that.
Well, clearly you were seeing ghosts.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which I would say was you being crazy, but we can see the ghost on the video.
Yeah, like, it's
For lack of a better word, we'll call it ghost.
well, yeah. It seems like I was under the effect of something.
Yeah.
Which, for the ground rules, having seen that, if I go to the reactor room, like, someone should come with me because I don't want that to happen, and I don't know whether the qualifications for that to happen. It could just be if I have to open the reactor, that happens to me, and I don't.
At this point, since I know we have like some time left, Quentin suddenly remembers that he's hungry and worried. But Tane, would you come with me to the mess hall?
Gladly.
And then we can go off into where we're supposed to. Tane and I can go to the back of the ship. Nain and I guess Nara, since he's gonna say on the bridge.
I think me and the captain were staying on the bridge.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Nara.
Yes.
I think I need you to check me over.
Of course, Captain. Come with me to the medical bay.
So maybe Skippy will go with Nain, then Tane will come with.
Okay.
Do try to stick to your rations.
Yeah, of course.
We'll do our best.
You got it.
Don't go chowing through the entire chow hall. I'm a stress eater. I hate my feelings.
What a mood, though.
A huge mood.
You think I keep all this up by eating slim chicken?
My entire goal is to make you all stressed out. This is just playing on all of your anxiety.
I'm stressed as hell.
Well, you've successfully done that in 3
Quentin's nervous
episodes with
boy.
Jack, but that wasn't hard.
I
I
win.
wondered why I was taking extra
win.
Prozac in the morning.
I've won the game. I've made all of my players paranoid.
The true GM. There's only one way for the GM to win, and it's that.
I'm just waiting for all of you to go, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
Eventually, it's
Dead
like
doesn't come
one
back.
person wakes up in the pod bay. Everyone else is dead.
It's just like
And it's Tane.
the sole survivor.
Okay, so Quentin and Tane are going to the mess hall.
Yeah.
Captain and Nara are going to med bay.
Mhm.
Skippy and I are.
It's like
we don't have
Going
this.
to the reactor bay, right? You're
No,
going.
I don't want to go to the reactor bay right now.
I thought
There's something on the far
Can't go anywhere near there.
then you could stay on the bridge.
Because the medical bay is right next to the bridge. That's not very far apart.
Yeah. Yep. Skippy, let's go to the cargo bay. Poke
Oh.
around.
Uh-oh.
Walk it.
Can you say that again? You're cutting out, man.
No, we're gonna go to the cargo bay.
Do it.
Walkity walk walk.
I'd grab some tools on the way down.
Oh yeah, yes. I need to do that. And pants.
Pants? Who needs pants?
Okay.
I specified I'd grab
Maybe
pants.
shoes.
Right.
I need
you
we need
put on
pants.
pants usually.
We need pants because we need to carry stuff in our pockets. That's
That's the only reason why you're wearing pants.
We're
Quick
gonna be off in
aside,
45 minutes anyway, so
quick aside, Tane has not bothered putting on any pants or anything. He's just like any of these
Always.
cycles. He's just wandering around, nothing fine.
The
The captain is over it
Sure,
by now.
please.
Honestly,
Yeah.
she
Like-
has bigger things to worry.
The
We're all
whole
in our
crew is
suits.
hurtling through
Shit.
space. This great mystery is starting to involve weird supernatural events that aren't explained necessarily by science, and they're doing it in their undies.
Oh hell yeah! It's the way.
That's how I do most things. So like
Like
not
true
really any
sci-fi
different.
adventures.
Presumably, we solve this problem. We get to where we want to go, and Tane continues to just walk around without pants in normal time.
What you don't know is the whole secret to breaking the loop is that you all have to put on clothes. That's-
Damn it!
Put on clothes
No.
and you figured it out. It's just everybody put on clothes, quick.
You've solved my space riddle.
It was a little child hand reaching for the door. He was like, please put on pants.
All right,
Oh,
damn
no.
space elves. This is so stupid. We're so dumb. Okay.
Okay. So,
Um,
back around.
Gotta break the tension somehow.
Quentin.
Wait,
Quentin
sorry.
Connie,
Yeah.
Head to the mess hall.
No. Wait, sorry. Are we gonna be the last ones that leave the bridge? 'Cause if anything, Quentin's gonna take a hold of Tane's arm and like slow his leaving.
So Nara and Marilyn, you guys head to the med bay, which isn't very far. Skippy and Nain, you guys head to. Do you want to get tools from your cabin, Nain?
Yes.
Head to the cabin, grab some pants, and also the small like personal toolkit that you have, which has a few of the small screwdrivers in there. Some other things like an ohm reader, or some kind of amperage reader. Some other small things like that. What's that?
I get my hacking thing.
Yes, Hacker Man.
I'm in.
I've hacked time.
I've hacked time itself.
Tane and Quentin, you are. Everybody else is left, and you kind of slowing your pace before you leave.
I
What
want to
is it?
show Tane the box that I got fed the line. It's classified. I want to bring up the cargo bay feed,
Mhm.
regular feed, and I want to show him that
Dirty
box.
shit.
I want to show him that box and see if he reckons.
Okay, you show the cargo bay, and you see the box in there.
Okay.
Most of
Like,
them are
Go on.
What's in the
Most-
box?
no. Most of them are stamped with the NEEC and have had the stencil paint that is very familiar with any military operation. But this one is not marked with anything. Doesn't have anything. It's large and square. It looks like a crate that kind of opens, and then there's like something inside the crate. It's currently the lid of it is closed, but you can see the crate there, kind of sitting towards the forward of the cargo bay. Kind of as you walk in, it would be just like on your left, so it's not out of view of the camera, but it's kind of at the edge of the view.
Okay.
And you see the crate there, and you bring up the manifests. Easy enough to do. The computer helps you pull up the manifests, and you look through it. Everything seems to be in order, but that box isn't listed on the manifest.
And Tane doesn't recognize it.
Mm-mm.
The plot chickens.
At least you're pretty sure it's not on the manifest without actually physically going down there with the manifest list and checking each one of the individual items to make sure that it's there. But you don't remember that box?
Okay. In that case, sorry, Q. Nothing.
I think this has something to do with this. That's why. It's the only thing we don't really have an answer for.
You're right.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing.
Only thing.
The only thing that Quentin has eyes on.
Clear as a sunny day, but
Well, not the only thing, but one of the things that's been bothering since
And the captain
Last-
didn't know about it when you went down there.
class.
Classified. So she does know about it.
The last time that we had, the cargo bay, instead of showing me basically blowing everything up, it showed her going into the box. Can't see anything. You literally see her like halfway in there and then comes out and shuts it. And that's it.
Suspect.
I just wanted to see if we can go to the mess hall now, but I wanted
No,
to go
no,
to the
that's
cargo bay, but somebody
fair.
decided to go to the cargo bay.
Okay. You make your way down to the mess hall.
Okay.
Marilyn, Nara, you step into the med bay. Find a quiet, comfortable spot.
My head just started hurting. I don't know what it's due to. I just need to be looked over.
Okay, it's not a problem. If you wouldn't mind, and I would do a full, well, not a full examination, but like a basic one at the very least.
As you shine the light, Marilyn, you kind of wince from the pain. She seems to check out okay. Her eyes are a little more dilated than you expect to be. And when you shine the light across her eyes to track her movement of her eyes, she winces in pain, and you kind of see her kind of ducking away from the light.
Oh God. Captain,
The headache is fading, but it was sudden and kind of.
Captain, do you have a history of migraines that
Not
you
really.
didn't tell the medical officers about?
No, not really. I
Would never lie
would never lie to anybody.
about anything in my past and history that might be necessary. No.
Using my power as the captain to cover up this problem.
Oh God. Starts humming Star Spangled Banner. No,
What an
No,
odd choice for the Canadian player to choose the Star Spangled Banner to hum.
well, she's American. My character's
That's
American.
true. Marilyn is American. That's true.
Yes. Well,
Marilyn
sort
can-
of.
Hi.
She's one of them double agents. No, not really. I mean, I've had them before, but I wouldn't call it a common. I don't know. Maybe it's the stress.
How often have you had them, and what's precursed you having them?
Sometimes stress, sleeplessness, typical stuff.
Which could, of
Maybe
course,
once a
be
year?
exasperated by the fact that we're in and out of cryostasis and not knowing what's going on. And okay, Captain, what I'm about to prescribe to you is going to make you a little bit loopy, but it should help with the pain and should calm you down at least a little bit.
Okay.
And she is going to pull out one of the little plastic bags.
I wondered if you were going to use.
You're
one of the
gonna
plastic
you're
stems.
gonna get the captain high. I can't believe this.
Technically, it's barbiturate,
It's
so
always
it's
more
not.
fun with friends.
Brings you down.
It's actually it's what you would actually prescribe for that. It's
It's a downer.
it's an inhalant of, it's basically a Tylenol 3 inhalant.
Fair.
Oh, Oh, it's so much more than that.
Oh, absolutely. But Nara is explaining it as a Tylenol 3 inhalant.
That's a really bad move on a doctor's part. Just saying, you shouldn't really be downplaying the severity of
It's called
giving people,
informed
but-
consent. It's kind of an important thing.
Yeah, but you know what? It's fiction, so it's okay. Do what you want.
Non noctem innocere and all that, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Or primo.
So you take the
primo
little
noctem.
plastic. You take the little plastic stem and shake it up, crack it, and inhale.
What did you say this was?
Everything slows down. Not really, but you just feel yourself kind of sinking back. What stress? What worry? What care? This is great. I'm just going to be fine right here where I'm at. This is the nicest medical bay ever. And sure, this metal table is cold, but it feels good.
It's like comfy cold, not like, you know.
Yeah, it's like the other
cold.
side of the pillow cold. You know,
Oh,
you flip it
bless.
over and you're just like,
That's the
oh,
good
that's so
shit.
amazing.
That's the good shit. So she's feeling pretty good right now. Okay.
Yep,
I don't
Feeling-
know.
real good. You watch Nara as her eyes are blown out. She's kind of just staring off into space at the moment.
Just chilling.
She
Just
is.
having a good time.
Captain, how about I have you just lay back?
Okay.
You're gonna feel
Sounds like the best
real
idea.
loopy for a bit, and then you're gonna plateau and just zone out. Everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna even out. Everything will be fine.
Thank you.
Only the first hit.
Only the first one's free.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to charge you
first
for
one
the
I get
next one.
time.
Uh-oh, Skippy froze up on me.
Oh no.
No, still frozen.
He
Uh-oh.
looks like he's advertising a
He's
drink.
There he
dead.
is. He's back. Yay.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, my connection good for there.
All right.
It was just a distortion, ladies and gentlemen.
Ha
It was just our tiny space girl.
Tiny
Yeah.
space hands.
Tiny space.
It's-
Not even a full body.
Holy
It's just
shit,
like
it's Donald
corner,
Trump.
hands everywhere. Ooh, that's even more uncomfortable.
Skippy and Nain, you are heading to the cargo bay, correct?
Yes.
You make your way. You make your way down the mag lift, past on the level where the cargo bay is. You make your way back there. The cargo bay is currently locked. You enter in the code that opens the door up. You wait for the life support to kick in, and the gravity to initiate. The artificial gravity to initiate, and the door opens, and the cargo bay is opened in front of you. Perfectly normal.
They are okay.
What?
No, it's just me muttering that you guys are okay, but Captain and I.
Yeah,
Die.
you get jettisoned into space.
Okay. So, there's not much else to do.
It's a
But
cargo
we-
bay.
Saw that there's something on board that wasn't supposed to be there.
I say we start cracking boxes open.
Yeah.
So
Well-
break everything.
First,
It's going to
First
reset.
first, let's make sure all the boxes. That could take a while. So, can I check the manifold to see what's supposed to be where?
Sure, you
on the
take.
computer right there.
Yeah, you take the data pad and it comes off of.
Doobie dabbity.
Bring up the manifest. Everything in here is designed for mobility and modularity. So there are parts to put together houses, farming equipment, all manner of different things that you would think that a colony would need to start and thrive and survive. So there are crates of clothing, winter, summer, somewhere in between. There are rebreathers, there are air scrubbers, there are all manner of things. On top of that, there is also equipment for the ship itself. There are additional pieces for the reactor housing, for the reactor core itself, for the engines, for the sail, especially including the microfilament solar catch sails that are out there. It's like bolts of that cloth, which are kind of cool. They feel like a silk, but they're actually like it's a metal.
It's like aluminum.
What's that?
It's an aluminum like alloy of some kind.
Yeah, and it has this mix between feeling like a metal mesh and a silk at the same time. It's really, really intense. But yeah, everything seems to. You're looking at the manifest, and it's going to take you. To honestly check the whole thing would probably take you every bit of the 45-minute time that you have. Because it is a huge cargo bay designed for 1,037 plus the crew on a colony. So it's damn big.
Okay, can I check if anything has been opened recently or closed?
Unfortunately, the manifest wouldn't tell you that because it's not like a door where it has a feedback to the ship initially, because they're their own individual boxes. Each one of the boxes has like a lock with a keypad, and only the crew knows the combination to get into it, so that way people aren't just stealing things out of them. But they don't have a change log access to each one of them.
Just pick that and start, and just remember where we got to before the loop hits. We can check the next loop. We can check some more of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
pick a side as we walk in and start down that wall.
You just want to start from the door you entered into, or do you want to start from the back where the cargo bay doors are?
We should head towards we want to be heading in the direction of the back end of the ship.
Okay. So you want to start from the front and move back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You're looking through and you're coming across, it seems like everything is checking out so far. About 15 minutes in, kind of in one corner towards the front, not out of sight of the camera, but just at the edge of it, you see a square crate. It's about almost 4 feet tall. And it's a cube. It's 4 by 4 by 4. It's a wooden outside crate, and it's currently. It looks like it was nailed shut, and then has been pried open. The lid has been put back down, but the lid itself can easily be shifted off.
Shifted
it is
off.
Not on the manifest that you can see so far. What's that? What did you say?
So I start working the top off it.
You shift, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort, and you kind of slide the lid open. Inside of it is a metal box, just slightly smaller in dimension than the actual crate that it sits in. The lid itself closes, and there is a mag lock with a key combination, with a keypad on it, that it's currently shut. The keypad itself has your standard array of numbers.
So I'm assuming I don't know the password to this.
You know the password to every crate that would, you're given a master password that will allow you to open crates as one of the crew members. And you can try that one and see if it works.
I will try that one.
Okay, you enter in the keypad. You enter on the keypad the combination of characters. there's a red light that flashes, and it doesn't seem to do anything.
The password should work.
Is there any way you can bypass the lock mechanism?
Yeah, let me get out some Tulios.
Sure, you have a crossover connector. You can try to pry the front panel off of the keypad itself. It's easy enough to do. You just take one of the smaller screwdrivers and kind of work in around the bezel, the bezel edges of it, and then pop it off. And you're looking at the electronics and the guts of the keypad and the maglock connection.
All right, I'll start hacker manning.
Hacker manning, give me an electronics roll. Because you have not all the tools you need, but you have some of them, I will allow you to give me a modifier on that.
What modifier?
1.
Pow.
Nice.
Ballin'.
It takes you a few minutes as you watch, trying to work out. The first thing you find is the sequence of numbers is 8. So there's 8 numbers in it. Then you work down through using the standard algorithms for it. You find that it starts bleeping up every 45 seconds, or no, every minute. Sorry, every 1 minute, it changes, and so it has to kind of work on a different algorithm. But after after about 2 minutes or so, you kind of figured out the pattern on it, and you enter in the key combination based off of what was next. Think about it like a Fibonacci sequence, and you figure out which number comes next. You enter it in. There's a soft, and the maglock seal is open. You can now open the crate up and see.
So look at Skippy. Say voila.
You are an artist.
All right,
Let's do that.
Open her up.
There are blocks. They're about yay big, about yay long. They are wrapped in what appears to be cellophane, and they're tightly packed. There's about 20 or so of those. You also see guns. Not a lot, only a few of them. But they're not your typical, energy pulse ones that you have. These are actually fire projectiles.
Ballistics.
That is correct. You barely make out what looks to be canvas satchels at the bottom of that. There are 2 of them. They're yay big.
What are in the cellophane wrap things?
You'd have to open them up.
Go to the tool belt, come out with a knife.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Well, Nanan,
Now,
give it your call.
It's been nice playing with you guys. No.
everything else
That's
in
okay.
there goes boom pretty well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we want to be a little more delicate than a knife with whatever these are.
Okay, we'll open it
Are you
slowly.
waiting? Slow.
Your screen was frozen perfectly with you poised, and right as he said that, it stuck, so it looked like you were still contemplating how you were going to do this. It was perfect.
Amazing.
So so they're wrapped in cellophane.
Right.
Can I, without picking them up, like unwrap the cellophane inside?
You would have to still cut like the cellophane because of the way it's wrapped in there tightly. And it's wrapped in cellophane, and then you can see that it's taped a little, taped around it using like a brown packing tape.
It's the 3rd session and we're gonna lose 2 party members. I love it. I love this.
Okay.
I love this game.
And
Alright.
it's not even to like something supernatural either. It's literally just our own stupidity when it comes to ballistics.
Oh, I wonder what this does.
I'm gonna cut it.
It's all right. they're only dead for a few more minutes, and then 45 minutes.
That's true.
Whatever you do,
As far as we know. As far as we
whatever you do.
At least it wasn't Theo.
3.
Okay, so I'm gonna very carefully. I'm gonna
Cut the tape.
I'm gonna surgeon hands this, presumably with my robot hand precision.
Use my robot hand. And the stabbing knife.
Interesting that you're surgeoning anything with the doctor. Lord knows how many levels above you.
High as fuck.
I'm gonna science the fuck
I'm
out
not
of
high.
this.
Chapter's high.
Oh, come on,
Um,
Nara. It's always funner with friends.
I'm worried about having to do a roll.
I'm trying to figure out which role to have you do this on. It's
Is
like,
there one for under stress?
Accidental
Is it-
pressure.
Is it my blade roll?
no, because that's like using a
Melee blade.
blade. Actually, like. Dexterity. I would like for you to give me dexterity.
I have been trained in the blade.
Make that a saving throw.
When y'all were at the academy, I studied the blade.
You cut into
Don't
it,
fuck with me.
and it's you've gotten accustomed to using the carbon fiber arm, and it's natural. The events of what's going on have shaken you to the core. And as you're cutting, you realize the blade pierces just a bit deeper than what you meant to. As it slides
F.
through, you open your eyes in wide disbelief as you realize you've pierced the package that contains whatever this is. You pressing F to pay respects.
All right,
I love it.
Skippy. As I'm cutting Skippy, you may want to step away a little bit.
You finish drawing the blade out, and you realize that your heart beats for a second, and it doesn't explode.
Well, I would assume it doesn't make my heart explode.
Well, no, your heart doesn't explode, but the package doesn't explode either. You know,
Okay. All right,
Instead, what happens though is like with any contents under pressure that are suddenly relieved of some sort of pressure, a bit of the substance that's inside of it comes out, and it's a fine white powdery substance.
Oh my god, she's a cocaine addict!
Holy shit, we're smugglers.
Is it the?
There
Is it Tab?
there is a fine white powdery substance that is within the package.
All right.
Wonder what this is.
Yeah, Jack, what's in your highly classified trunk? You're smuggling cocaine there?
You should get it tested, perhaps.
All right.
Put a little bit in your.
I'm a scientist. I've definitely done. I'm gonna.
I'm a scientist. I've done blow before.
Honestly, though,
I've busted
where's the
fat
line?
rails off of the same microscope slide that I was looking at a few moments ago.
I've definitely had to stay up and been like, this is basically a monster. Yeah.
By the way, dear viewers, while we
This is
try to
basically
for
a
everyone,
must.
please keep in mind that some of our subject material might be of an adult nature.
Yes.
Viewer
Thank
discretion
you.
is highly advised.
Don't break your children.
So I'm gonna.
So,
gonna
Nate,
figure
are
out what
you
this
doing
is.
this Wolf of Wall Street style?
I'm gonna do it.
You're just taking a bump off of the blade.
Are
aren't
you serious? That's not what I meant. But like,
Wow.
go off, I guess. Like,
I'm gonna figure out what it is. I'm not gonna immediately inhale, but I'm gonna
He's
like
just taking a peek.
Waft.
He's
smell,
rubbing it on
like
his gums.
see if there's a smell,
He's rubbing it on his gums.
see if there's a taste.
Skippy, I don't know what this is, but I'm taking this brick with me. Man, are you hot? I'm hot. Is it hot in here? God, I'm hot.
Hey, wait, are you wearing your safety goggles? Because Carol didn't, and now she doesn't have to.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god, an oldie.
oh my
Okay.
God.
So
Then-
I'm gonna test that. Is it cocaine?
How are you testing it out? What are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna try and like not stuff it up
Are
my
you
nose.
taking
but
a bump off of the fucking blade?
no.
What are you doing?
We
You
have a
know
whole
what?
ship
Okay.
full of technology, and you choose.
I walk up,
Talca,
put my
Talca.
finger in it, and put the tongue.
Oh my god! You have a medical officer! Levels
Yes.
above you! Just bring her the
Nothing
fucking
is.
block!
No, everybody's just here for a good time
You're
now.
back. Background.
Way too long.
Your background and where you come from and what you've done. Yeah. Yeah. It is exactly what you think it is.
This is coke as fuck.
Name, we find out who put this box on here.
No, Captain, why?
So
Oh my god, she's having headaches because she's going through withdrawals.
None of the
You would know
packages
all
were
about
opened.
that.
what?
None of the packages were opened. They were
Okay.
all ordered and stacked in there neatly, and it did not look like they were missing from it.
Yeah, this ain't somebody's private stash. This is a smuggling operation.
This is smuggling.
Unless
Trying
it's
to-
somebody's.
Trying to smuggle cocaine to a colony that isn't there yet is not the most profitable plan.
Keep in mind, what
Just
number
the plan.
ship is this that's going out?
This is a 6.
That's correct. It's the sixth one.
I have a memory.
We're heading to the same location that the others were.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that I
Oh.
didn't realize.
You are not
I
settling
don't
a
even
new
know.
colony. You are heading to a colony planet.
Shit.
Oh. Captain.
Jack, we gotta talk
Okay.
about your
Look at me
definition
like
of your
that.
job.
Name,
It feel like that sometimes.
I'm going to take you
It
to my
do be like
contract
that,
here,
though.
because I don't think you're involved. I'm actually a marshal. I was put on board to check for contraband.
Oh shit!
Okay. I mean,
You bitches ain't there!
I'm expecting no one to use out of character knowledge.
No.
no, we're good. We're good noodles. We're just having a freak out of
Everybody's
character.
They're having an existential crisis out of
Oh.
character.
Oh shit, I'm gonna get arrested.
I'm, I'm assuming
Bye.
he's trusting me 'cause I'm enjoying the idea. Like he's not in on it. He doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure out what it is. He's like, okay, that guy's
He's like-
obviously not the
he's completely
smuggler.
Clueless. He's like, what is this?
Haven't been put in the box.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Alright. Nan, after we reset this time, we need to check the earliest. When everybody goes to check the cameras and make sure everything's the same, we need to check when this was getting loaded up at probably the very beginning of the recording.
Far back. Okay. Okay. We'll do that. So it's either someone using the ship
Mhm.
and crew doesn't know about it,
That's possible. That's possible.
or it's someone on the ship and the crew. I don't think cocaine smugglers would have anything to do with time loops.
I don't think, I don't know for sure, but I'm
All of a
Wait.
sudden,
putting that out
Why?
there.
I don't. If you were to send one shipment and then steal all the cocaine from all the timeline shipments into one timeline, that would be a good way to accumulate cocaine.
This is where I'm going to step in and go, hey, you're overthinking. I'm just saying.
We
you're
are
overthinking it.
using for
He's a scientist. That's all he
There's-
does.
This whole campaign is a Dare commercial.
At the very end, after I've killed all of you off, it's just me and the camera, and I just go, that's why you don't do drugs.
Everyone's fucking dead. Killed each other.
It's just
Just
a
me
long ass
going.
campaign of don't do drugs, kids.
That's it.
Drugs are bad, okay?
You thought it was a D&D campaign. It's actually an anti-drug campaign.
It was an anti-drug campaign all the time.
So if it is someone on the ship who is smuggling, what are we gonna do about that? What if we're the only ones who aren't smugglers?
well,
We're outnumbered then.
in flight, we don't necessarily have to do anything. The worst case scenario, we just have to report them once we get to the colony, which we've got all this other mess to deal with running up to that.
True. Yeah, let's Let's solve the time loop first. Yes. Point. Yes.
How much time do we have left before we loop?
About 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Captain,
While that's going on, Quentin and Tana, you've made it to the mess hall. It's quiet, with the exception of one tray that's sitting on a table by itself. The rest of the trays are strapped down in their locations where they were, so that way when the gravity is turned off in the station, they don't just all float all over the place. There's just one tray, though. It doesn't look like it has been affected by the gravity and it floated somewhere, and then when the gravity turned you guys into the mess hall, it just clattered. You didn't hear a noise. It's sitting there on the table, though.
Someone lift the tray at.
Is there any,
Very good.
like, is there anything in it?
No, it's empty. It's just a metal tray. Rounded edges, placements for different dishes. You know, your entree and then
Oh, okay.
side,
Is
like
it
you know,
like-
like cafeteria tray, but made out of metal.
Is it like in a place where it could have been strapped down? Like, are there straps around it that are just like not secured?
No, it's on the tables themselves are mounted down. They're mounted fixtures, but
Oh,
they're
gotcha.
basically long tables with benches.
Yeah.
For efficiency, and it's sitting on one of the tables, kind of about not in the middle, but not at the end. Kind of just it doesn't seem to have any significance to where it's sitting. It's just sitting at the table as though there's no food on it. There's no remnants of food on it. There's no
Like
anything
garbage
like that.
anywhere.
It's just sitting there as though someone were sitting in front of it and the tray was sitting.
Tana
Huh.
goes to pick it up.
Okay. You walk over, you reach down to grab it. Which hand are you going to use? It doesn't matter because nothing happens whenever you pick,
Okay.
you pick it up off of the
Okay, left hand. Let's go.
table. You lift it off the table. It feels normal.
All right, I
Feels like
go
a metal
over
tray.
to. I just go over and put it like strap it with the rest of them, I guess.
Okay. You undo the straps on there and you set it on and put the strap back in place so that it's held in place.
All right. Well, that's taken care of then. I'll treat you to the finest rations we have here in this cafeteria, Q.
All right,
Please
you
help
make your
yourself.
way into the actual you make your way into the actual kitchen area.
Mhm.
As you're making around, it's easy enough to find, rations and things like that to enjoy, and you make yourselves. It's MREs. What are you gonna do? You open it up and there's
excuse you, the mac and
You
cheese
have your-
MRE tastes just fine.
you have your choice of beef pot roast, or like a chicken a la king.
Hmm.
Which is basically brownish colored gloop with meat chunks, or a creamy colored gloop with meat chunks
Ew.
and pasta.
I'm having
And
flashbacks.
pasta.
I'm having flashbacks. I hate this.
Who here has had an MRE? Tell me I'm not wrong.
Alright,
it's-
look,
You're fucking
it looks
right.
disgusting,
But they're
but
actually
they
pretty
don't
tasty.
taste
They're
as bad as
actually
everybody
okay.
says they do.
No.
Depending
It's
on
just
which
fun
ones you
to-
get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
there's
like,
some
it's
that are
really hit and
unholy and
miss.
should never be made and should
Any
just
of
be
them,
given to the enemy for
If
sure.
you see the word pork,
Don't
throw
touch it.
Don't fucking eat
Or-
it.
Put that to the side for somebody.
Give-
some else
Give
like
it to
that.
someone you hate.
The beef stew is okay.
The
The
beef
mac
stew
and
is
cheese
good.
is pretty good.
Mhm.
The
We'll go
chicken
mac and
pot
cheese.
pie one is good.
Yep.
Mhm. I was just thinking about that
There
one.
was one that was kind of like a lasagna.
Ugh.
I think
That
it
was
just
okay.
lasagna.
That was okay. Well, if there was a name for it, it wasn't lasagna, but it tasted like lasagna.
Alright.
Tastes like lasagna, not
Meat
lasagna.
casserole.
Meat and pasta casserole.
And
Like
now,
those
Now, to be
brands
fair-
that are just like the name of the thing rather than like
The
any kind of
off-brand
fancy
shit.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be fair, if it tastes awful, it's probably expired.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for the pork ones.
Except for
Except
the
for the
pork
pork
ones,
ones.
Lord, no.
Even if they're not expired.
I don't know what happens to pork when they make it an MRE, but it's
but like,
dark magic.
but also
There's
in
not enough
the,
barbecue sauce in the MRE package.
but also
Yeah.
in the MRE, you get a candy of some sort. It'll either be like a chocolate bar or a hard candy.
Get it.
Salt, pepper, utensils for eating. You get a dessert, which could be anything from like a cobbler to peaches
Generally.
to
Which were
Give me a
awesome,
second.
by the way.
A cobbler or a cookie or muffin or something. That,
Yeah.
yeah. It's usually something
Yeah.
that'll heat up the same way your food does.
Right.
Mhm.
And then you get juice crystals to go in your canteen.
Good shit. It's good shit. We've improved over the years. So
I remember. I think
Well-
you get coffee and tea
I think you
with
did.
the MREs too.
It's been so long because what we got was what I'm familiar with is there was Tang,
Yeah.
because that's easy enough to pour into your canteen and shake, and then it,
Yeah.
it
Yep.
makes it.
I think they just give you like, the instant shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, your drink crystals were, but like you could, like you actually did get coffee and tea. So you got like
but
a
it's like
tea
the
bag.
instant coffee.
It was
It's like
it
the
was
instant
instant
coffee.
coffee, but it was like
Yeah.
a tea bag and a package of instant coffee, and then you had creamer, but like it was a dried creamer.
Like powdered cream.
Yeah.
So stuff that will combust if you put a match.
Yeah,
to it.
like don't have it near an open flame.
as
it
you
all-
heat it up over an open
And
flame.
it all came
Right.
in like a rectangular paper bag that was sealed at the top, and it had what was in it on the front of the bag.
Written in that
Sometimes.
beautiful painted stencil that you
Yeah.
get with everything military.
Of
Yep.
course, yeah.
Good times. All right, so you find a couple of MREs. They're not bad. They're pretty good, especially considering that you're pretty hungry and you don't know how many times you've woken up hungry.
Yeah.
Um,
Tane eats too, even though they told him not to, just because, like, he's a big dude. He needs the protein.
It's been a while.
he gives the candy.
He
to
doesn't want to
Quentin.
lose his games.
Yeah,
Atlas,
Q gets all the candy.
Atlas, you never had
You
an
need more
MRE, have
sugar.
you?
Listen, I don't give a shit. I've never had an MRE, but the point is,
They're actually really filling, even for a guy Tane's size.
okay, fair enough.
All right, you get your MREs, you heat them up, and as you go back to sit down at the benches, because you're not going to eat in the kitchen. There's nowhere to sit. You're standing. There's a tray sitting on the table.
Oh, like, fuck, there is. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Puts it
You
on
see
a different
that
table.
too, right, Q? Q,
Yeah.
you see that? All right. Weird bullshit.
Is there anything else around the mess hall that like seems just even slightly out of place?
Mm-mm. I mean, everything else is strapped down and in place. so that
Odd
it
question.
can't-
Anything on the ceiling?
Human, no, there's nothing- a human body. No, there's nothing on the ceiling.
Okay. Look in there.
Like,
Xenomorph. no, no, there's nothing on the ceiling.
Okay.
all right, I'm not even gonna.
I like where your head's at, though. I like where your head's at. Good looking out.
I'm not even touching it this time. Just sit down, ignore
But
it.
did you look under the table?
Does
It's
something
another
brush
Quentin
against our
eats his-
knee?
That's not me.
Like start smacking each other like
Quentin, Quentin,
That's the
How
most
we-
awkward slap fight in space. All right, no, there's nothing on the ceiling. There's nothing under the table. That tray is just sitting in the same position as it was.
sorry.
Tane's done. He's not even gonna fucking touch it. He's had enough.
I'm not even gonna sit like opposite of Tane. Like it's just like right in beside Tane. Anything's gonna
like-
come out of nowhere. Tane's just like
You're like both as far away from the tray as you can get.
Just use me as a human meat wall. Like,
I'm like there's a table against the wall. Quentin's like right against the wall. Tane's either side of it.
Tane
All
like
right.
tries to sit down on the other side. Quentin's like, no, here,
No.
right here.
No, Quentin wouldn't say anything. He would get up and move. He gets up and
Follows
moves
him.
around and sits down.
Oh.
All right,
Tane's like, oh.
you finish your meal. It is filling. As you go to stand up and dispose of your waste, Quentin, you're following Tane. You're kind of looking at your shoulder at the tray, and as you're watching it, you hear the metal slide on the table.
Mhm.
On the table, and the tray is
Very
now
confused
sitting
noise.
perpendicular to where it was before.
Went from this to this?
No, not perpendicular. Sorry, in juxtaposition. It moved to the side.
Parallel.
Oh,
No
I was gonna say,
parallel would be on
that's
the
some
same thing.
freaky shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
Quentin's just gonna throw his shit at that bolt.
This is like garbage.
This.
Gone.
You all of a sudden, Tane, you heard the metal, and then you watch as Quentin's like throwing the food tray and just
Cute.
running out
Hey.
the room.
What the hell? He runs after it. He doesn't even bother to throw his garbage. He's still got it in one hand. He's just like holding all his garbage. He's like,
Wait.
what the hell is it?
All right, Skippy, Name. What are you guys doing? You have about a pound and a half of cocaine in your hand. If it resets, why not get blazed out of our minds?
Now is probably not the time for that. Sorry.
I mean, why not? I'm high as hell right
We don't want to crisscross when we're testing something else. Cross our wires.
Wake up high.
Quick mental catalog of all the weaponry that's in there.
Okay. There are 6 automatic rifles. They are laying with the magazine housing up, so they're upside down, effectively. Trigger housing, magazine housing are facing up, so you can see into like where the magazine slips into. There are 18 magazines that are neatly fitted with what equates to be a 5.56 round, which is like an 8.0 round. It's a round you would find in like an M16 or an M4 or whatever. But there are 18 magazines neatly laid out. They are sitting on little wooden housings that they can fit onto nicely. So there's 6 of those in 18 magazines because there's 3 each. And underneath them are 2 of those satchels that are the way that the guns are. They're like they're raised up off of the bottom of the box, and then the satchels are put in there conveniently so that way nothing can bump them or slide around or fall on them. And then next to them, in kind of a separate like housing, is the stack of the stacks of cocaine, the bricks of cocaine.
Is there any identifying marks going on there?
Just the
Insignia?
manufacturer of the gun.
I don't know how drug running works.
No, there's no identifying marks. These aren't
They
stamped
sign
with the
their
seal
work.
of approval.
I'm not an expert.
Colombian made. It's
Little
like,
quality seal.
Sarness's grade A.
Approved by worker number 765.
Yeah, this doesn't say Pablo Escobar's special seal of approval. Age 10 years.
This
Pablo's
product-
still
10
around.
years and a mule. It's just gotta know what's wrong with me. Anyways, no, there's nothing marking identifying them. The only marks or identifying things are the guns themselves have been pressed with the Heckler and Koch, or Heckler and Koch, how do you say it? But they have the manufacturer seal stamped in those. The serial numbers that are on most weapons when they're made, these have all been scrubbed off.
Of course.
Scrubbed off, and not a shitty job, not like scrubbed and then left all of them. These have been sanded off nicely and then repainted, and so therefore this is
a professional job.
Yeah, this is well done.
I take one out, look at it. Does it look like a new gun, or like it might be a used one that's just
It
been,
is.
cleaned up?
From your familiarity, this has never been fired. The tube itself doesn't show any usage itself. The slide mechanism on it is still freshly oiled, so it doesn't look like it has seen anything that's been fired through it at all. These are what we call untested weapons.
should probably put them back, I guess. There's a little bit of time before the reset, so if whoever looks in the cargo bay camera sees that we found their secret, that's not good. So we should put them back, right?
Well, if they look at the cameras right now, they're going to see it anyway. And when we loot, either they won't see it or we'll just pass it off as being some other us.
True. It is another us.
Let me go ahead and load everything back in and shut it.
Okay. You
We'll
do
make
so
sure we're
and
as
slide
far to the edge of the ship as we can get by the time the timer hits.
Say that again now. I'm sorry.
Well, we were trying to get as far apart from each other, so we'll make sure we're at the far side of the bay, furthest from the rest of the ship.
Okay, so you are far apart on the cargo bay and as far back as you can get. While all of that was been going on, and Quentin and Tane have had a nice meal together, ambient lit dinner.
Very, very fancy, definitely.
A crab singing
Captain
"Kiss the Girl."
No.
The reset is the boat
Quinton.
tipping over.
His name is Quinton. Quinton. His name is Quinton. Because let's face it, in this scenario, Tane is clearly the prince. All right, so
Just stop talking. The whole time.
Now I picture.
you
What?
broke up. Sorry, what?
I said, now I'm seeing Tane dressed as Prince.
Like
Like
the artist prince?
big dress.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
I
though.
will draw
Like,
him
I'm
as
into that.
Ariel now, just to spite all of you.
Please.
So she
dude.
went and dressed as
Atlas, we're
Ariel?
gonna need a Little Mermaid AU with Tane and Quentin.
oh no.
Where Quentin takes the place of Ariel.
Atlas
All
has died instantly.
You he's already doodling. You just can't see it. The hand is going. All right, so
Off
Marilyn,
screen.
Nara, Marilyn, you slip into not a catatonic state, but the state of being that is just completely removed from everything.
You
Your
ever
mind
been high?
wanders.
Give a fuck about nothing.
Everything in the air, you can hear the air scrubbers going. You can hear them, the soft as they process the CO2 and render the carbon out, scrubbing it clean, and then reconstituting it back in as breathable oxygen. You hear the sound of the equipment in the room. Every nerve on your arm can feel all of the little hairs, and you can feel the fiber against your skin. And as you're laying there, once again, as though through static from some faraway place, you hear that same 4 words, or same 5 words. I'm not going to say them out loud because you know them.
I do.
It stops for a second, and you hear the additional 5 minutes and counting. From some faraway place that is far removed, like you're hearing it in a dream. It almost sounds like somebody speaking through water. It's just kind of...
Okay.
And the world starts to come back. You still feel every inch of the naval issued outfit that you're wearing currently rubbing against your skin. The cool of the table beneath you, slightly warm now to your own body temperature. And you see Nara standing over you, kind of smiling, looking down at you. Not in a creepy way, Jesus.
That's all I can
Like-
picture is like,
Hello.
"Are you feeling Cap?"
She's been roofied.
I'd be like,
How are you feeling, Captain?
Better. A little groggy, but good. Thank you.
Okay.
It
Well-
comes out slightly slurred, a little groggy, but good.
You should head back to the bridge.
Thank you.
I have a reactor core to get to.
Okay.
Are you going to be able to make it on your own?
Yeah, I think so. I'll be fine.
Were you going to be on the bridge by yourself? Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
The
And-
plan was to have Tane and Nara
In separate places.
in separate
there were-
places.
So Nara was reactor. Tane was cargo bay, wasn't? Isn't that where we were going?
Tane and Quentin just needed to be at the back of the ship. Nara
Yeah.
needed to be towards the front. Was essentially.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If you went into the col- this back on the ship, but if you went to the end of the colonist tubes, the sleep pod tubes for the colonists, you could get to, pretty decent ways back on the ship.
Okay.
I'm gonna go run a final check on the colonists, and that's where I'll be.
All right. So you head that direction and look. Everything seems to check out. The data pad shows the same 44 individuals missing. You see nothing else has changed with any of the other tubes or anything else like that.
And just to be safe, I'm going to run a personal check on every crew pod.
Okay. Like an individual, inspection for everybody.
Just a quick one for the crew themselves, because
Like just making sure
four
they're
of my
there.
crew, four of my crew were up and moving around.
Oh, you're looking at your crew, not
Yeah,
like
the medical
security
crew.
team.
The
Just the medical crew. Okay. I thought you were like security and everybody. I was like,
Yeah.
No.
Not like our pod.
Just my crew, the medical team, because
sure.
four of my people
There's-
were up and moving about, and they shouldn't have been.
Which your team consists of 10 other individuals. So it's you and 10 others. Looking through them, they're all in there. There's no indication on their pods that they've been opened anytime recently. Everything seems to be perfectly on the up and normal. Was anyone heading to the reactor?
Nara, I think.
No, I changed to go to the.
Oh, okay,
colonists.
never mind.
Okay. Quentin and Tane, where are you guys at?
Well, we're heading towards. We're going towards the back of the ship.
Okay, so that would be the cargo bay. That's where Skippy and Nain are.
Yeah.
Okay, so the four of you will be in the cargo bay then?
I guess so. We're all gonna go say hi. What's up?
Skippy, you've been kind of keeping a kind of a mental check on things, and there's about maybe 5 minutes left for your 45-minute time period.
I'm keep a look at the time, so that when I wake up, I'll try to remember what the last time, time mark was.
Sure. All right. As you are kind of making a mental, you watch as the cargo doors open. Not the bay doors, because that's bad. the
Quentin's
internal
like bracing himself so to see if he goes out into space. He's like,
Science!
You
as
let
the door
Tane
opens,
open the door and kind of hide behind him.
yeah.
The door opens and you step into the very large cargo bay. You kind of see back in the distance, you see Nain and Skippy opposite sides of the room, just kind of standing there.
I thought y'all were going to stay in the mess hall.
But
Thought you wanted us back here.
yeah.
No, me and Nain were going to stay back here. Somebody was going to stay on the bridge, I thought.
Yeah, wasn't it Nara? You had some
Yeah.
kind of theory about Nara and I.
Oh well, as long as Captain and Doctor are far away from us, we can still test the theory, I guess.
Sounds
Would I
good.
notice the box open?
No,
Mm,
missed it.
they closed the lid and everything.
Oh, they closed the lid and everything.
Mhm.
Boy. Okay.
The Marilyn,
Yes.
the bridge is lonely. It's empty. The video screen still shows the last things that you guys looked at. You kind of close it down. You take a seat in your chair, looking out the view screen that shows the void, the endless void hurtling through. There's just the soft sounds of an empty bridge coming down off of the wonderful high that you had. You're hit with a sudden realization that it's just the six of you, really. It's a huge empty space out there. And a bit of hopelessness starts to sink in as you think, what if we're stuck doing this for all eternity? What if this is hell? You're pretty sure it wouldn't be heaven. Nothing against them. But just to be on an infinite loop of 45, and why these few minutes? Why is this important? Or why is it these 45 get played over? You feel tired. You feel exhausted. Like you haven't slept in, you kind of chuckle to yourself, 45 years. Crazy talk. Once again, the tinnitus starts up, not as strong as it was that first time. And you hear it once again. And it says, this time it doesn't say 5 minutes and counting. This time it says, and we are go. You kind of wince, and as you do so, you hear the klaxons.
God damn it.
Tane, Quentin, Skippy, Nain. You're looking at each other, and all of a sudden, you hear the klaxons. You look to one another, and as you turn, you realize you're looking at the inside of your own sleep pod.
Surprise!
Nara.
Surprise!
You're looking over the tubes, and as the klaxons goes, you turn your head to look up at the speaker where the sound is blaring, and you realize you're looking out of your own, the brightened glass of your own sleep pod. There's that of air release as everyone's pod door opens, with the exception of Quentin's.
It's like knocking now. It's like
Now it's like the panic
At
is
this-
no longer in your system. It's kind of one of those things. Tane, you hear the kung, 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 kung.
At this point, it just opens it and just, all right, come on up. We
Give
got
me an
you.
athletics check.
Oh boy, another one of these. Yeah, I'm gonna have a real problem with those athletics.
Yeah, it's like I think that's one of your highest stats. You put your foot against the bottom edge and you pry it open. There's that rending king of metal as the door opens up, and once again you see Quentin in there. You're a little hungry, Quentin. Tana, you have to pee.
No!
maybe we were forgetting something.
I'm
This is
always
true
gonna
hell.
have to pee.
True hell.
Captain,
Yes.
you're awake.
for once.
Hello.
The captain is actually awake.
Good
Normally-
morning.
It takes a few minutes for the captain to wake up, but this time the captain is awake.
Bold of you to assume she's going to be on time next week.
It doesn't matter. You're a nerd. Look at me.
Hook up.
I'm the captain now. It's even in my name.
Yes.
You find yourselves all staring at each other. Marilyn, the tinnitus hits once more. And you hear iteration 45 in progress. And that's what we're going to call it this week.
I hate it.
I hope everybody's had a good time.
Is this like some weird animus shit? Like we're just running simulations or something?
Don't know. There'll be more to discover. But so far, you know, you've got players know that they have a narc on board.
Fucking narcs.
What?
Somebody's
what the
smuggling
fuck?
drugs.
Somebody's
I had an
smuggling
entire
guns and
stock.
coke.
I had an entire stock of illegal, like, Malaysian protein powder, and now what am I gonna fucking do? There's a narc!
Malaysian
get-
protein powder
Malaysian
I
specifically.
can't even get my
made out of
game.
the finest ground Malaysians.
Can't say that. Oh my
It's
God.
people.
I can, will, should, and
Okay.
must kill you.
Soylent
Okay.
powder.
Relax for a second. That is after session talk when the stream is off.
I'm gonna spend like 3 hours reading random shit about
Yeah.
Einstein Rosen.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for watching. I know we had a dip in shit, but still, we hope those of you that watch, we appreciate every single person who lays eyes upon it. We want to share the fun and weirdness that happens here with all of you. Again, as always, I'd like to thank Atlas playing Tane. We have Jack, who is playing Marilyn, our captain. We have Maddie, who is playing our medical officer, Nara. We have Jason, who is playing our ensign, Skippy. We have V, who is playing our navigator, Quentin. And we have Poka, who is playing Nain, our science officer, the one-armed guy. The one-armed man did it. We are going to be back again next Wednesday at the same time. That was 5 p.m. Central, running until just around 8 o'clock Central Time Zone. We will also be back on Monday with our fantasy campaign, The Foundations of Adelar, where slightly less weird stuff happens.
Well,
Well,
for now. For now.
Slightly less weird stuff, but there's magic, so it's easier to explain things. We want to thank everybody. Check us out. We are on Facebook, Dire Bear Adventuring Company. We have a Patreon page. We have a Discord. Feel free to jump in, and you can join in the shenanigans where you can see all the great artwork that's being output by all of our artists, including Atlas and both Jack, who are there. We have our cosplay artist, who is Maddie, of course. You're coming up. Did you make a decision for the con this weekend? Was that a
I'm
no?
not doing it.
Probably for the best.
$175 for a full table for a Saturday. Not worth it.
Nah.
Not when I
No.
also have to pay for a ticket for my mom.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it was too short notice. If you had more time to plan, but they kind of sprung that on you.
Yeah, if I had more time to plan, then I could actually like make small pieces to actually sell at the convention.
Mm.
Excellent. Well, we have coming up on our 25th episode of the Foundations of Adelar on from 6 to 9. On the 25th episode, we'll be doing a game giveaway. So you'll want to tune in, and you can win a free game, because who doesn't want a free game from Steam or a free Steam game? So make sure you tune in. Again, that's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to win a game, join in and watch the weird antics that they get up to. In the meantime, Pelka, Jason, V, do you guys have anything that you have announced? Anything cons coming up that you're going to be a part of or anything? No? Just kind of... just kind of there?
I'm just happy to participate.
Well, we're happy to
Well,
have you.
don't worry about it. So we'll announce PAX South once we know what weekend it is, because both of us
Hell
are
yeah.
going.
There you go. Announce that stuff. But we want to thank everybody again. We love you guys, and keep on that void. Take care, guys.